Chronicles of the Rise of a Cultivation Family. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 176 Recruitment. As the two were talking, a low-level cultivator of the 8th level of key training came forward to buy pills. "Senior, I heard that you have top quality key gathering pills here. Is that true?" All the pills Yun Yongzhu refined this time were key gathering pills, and more than half of the finished pills were of top quality, so the pills were sold in 3 grades: top, middle, and bottom. Of course, but there is only one bottle of top quality key gathering pills left. One bottle costs 170 spirit stones, and one pill costs 17 spirit stones. No bargaining. Yun Yongzhu's top quality key gathering pills were packaged in green jade bottles, and the price of each pill was 2 spirit stones higher than the pills on the market. Although these top quality key gathering pills are available on the market, they are difficult to find. They can only be bought in powerful businesses or large pill shops. This does not mean that other alchemists cannot refine top quality key gathering pills, but that they are very rare. Occasionally, he would refine 1 or 2 pills, and he would keep them for himself and his relatives and friends, or sell them to people he knew at a high price. "Senior, how much do you sell this mid-grade key gathering pill for?" 105 spirit stones per bottle. Yun Yongzhu packed the mid-grade key gathering pill in a white jade bottle and sold it at 10.5 spirit stones per pill, which was half a spirit stone more expensive than in the store. Because the mid-grade key gathering pills refined by Yun Yongzhu were better than the mid-grade key gathering pills sold on the market. In fact, it was difficult to tell which one was better for the same mid-grade key gathering pill. So at the beginning, the price of this mid-grade key gathering pill was 10 spirit stones per pill. It was not until 5 days later that Yang Liu found that a low-level cultivator who had clearly bought it before still came to their stall to buy the mid-grade key gathering pill again and again. Only then did she realize that this person was actually engaged in the business of wrestling. From this, she realized that the quality of the key gathering pills refined by Yun Yongzhu was much higher than that on the market, so she raised the price by half a spirit stone. However, even though they were expensive, Yun Yongzhu and his 4 companions sold out all 10 bottles of pills before noon every day. The low-level cultivator thought for a moment, gritted his teeth, took out 137 spirit stones and a small bag of 1 pound of first-grade high-quality spirit rice, and handed them to Yun Yongzhu. "Senior, I want to buy 5 high-quality key gathering pills and 5 medium-quality key gathering pills." The value of the bag of spirit rice was equivalent to half a spirit stone. Spirit stones were whole and could not be broken up for use, so the spirit rice served as a small amount of currency. Yun Yongzhu packed the pills for him, handed them to him, and said with a smile, "My friend, you will not regret buying these pills. The key gathering pills here are more effective than those elsewhere. You can take 1 high quality key gathering pill every 29 days, and the same is true for medium quality key gathering pills, which are also more effective than ordinary medium quality key gathering pills." Of course, this person would not regret it. He also personally experienced the effect of this key gathering pill from an acquaintance, so he made up his mind to find it. The key training cultivator was very happy to get 2 bottles of 10 pills. He carefully put away the 2 jade bottles and left in a hurry. Looking at the 4 white jade bottles and 1 green jade bottle left on the stall, the two couldn't help but make a bet. "Brother Jiu, I guess these 40 key gathering pills will be sold out in less than an hour." "It's impossible to take an hour. I think it will take at least an hour and a half." However, both of their guesses were wrong. Just after a quarter of an hour, a cultivator in the foundation building stage stopped in front of their stall. "Dao, do you have any more key gathering pills? I'll buy them all." "Of course there are. There are 40 left, 5 top grade pills, and 35 mid-grade pills. But Dao, let me remind you, these are key gathering pills, not soul gathering pills." Although the possibility was small, Yun Yongzhu was still afraid that this person didn't read the sign clearly and mistook the key gathering pills taken by the key training realm for the soul gathering pills taken by the foundation building cultivators. No matter how good the quality of this key gathering pill is, it will only be a drop in the bucket for a foundation establishment cultivator to take it, and the increase in cultivation will be minimal. I know. How many spirit stones? 452 and a half. Since you bought a lot, I'll give you half a spirit stone. The man paid the spirit stones very readily, but he did not leave after collecting the pill. My name is Peng Fei. What are your names, fellow Taoists? I wonder which fellow Taoist made this key gathering pill. The two brothers looked at each other and did not answer him. Instead, they asked him, fellow Taoist, are you asking this? Is there something wrong with our pills? No, you two misunderstood. If there was something wrong with the pills, why would I buy so many? Then why are you asking about this for no reason? Seeing Yun Yongzhu and the others' cautious attitude, Peng Fei continued in a gentle voice, fellow Taoists, I have no ill intentions. It's just that by chance I learned that you two are selling a lot of excellent quality key gathering pills here, so I had the idea of recruiting talents. I'm the small manager of the Lingdon Pavilion, and I specialize in finding excellent alchemists to join the pavilion. Don't worry, this is Yun City, no one will force you. Hearing that Peng Fei was from the Lingdon Pavilion, Yun Yongzhu and the others let down their guard a little. They didn't stay in Yun City for nothing this month, and they knew the Lingdon Pavilion. This is a shop opened by many alchemists, specializing in the business of elixirs. It is said that there is a third level alchemist inside. We didn't make this key gathering pill. We just sell it for others. Hearing Yun Yongzhu say this, Peng Fei was a little disappointed, but he still asked, I wonder if you two can introduce me to this alchemist? No. We are not familiar with this alchemist, and we really can't help you. Seeing that the two refused him, Peng Fei was a little disappointed, but he still didn't give up and said, I can pay you too. How about it? Daoyao, we also want to earn these spirit stones, but we are only in a cooperative relationship with this alchemist, and we have even signed a contract. Hearing this, Peng Fei knew that there was no hope. Daoyao, sorry to bother you, but I still hope you can mention our Lingdon Pavilion to that alchemist. Then he took out another 20 spirit stones and handed them to Yun Yongzhu and the others. Please. The two of them would certainly not refuse the spirit stones for free. After Peng Fei left, Yun Yongzhu sent a message to Yun Yongzhu, 25th brother, check those spirit stones quickly to see if there is any tampering. After a careful inspection, Yun Yongzhu shook his head and said, no problem. Let's close the stall. That's all for today. Then the two of them put away the remaining magic tools and stacks of talismans on the stall, and then hurried back to the rented cave. Not long after the two left, several waves of people came to their stall. Some of these people came to buy elixirs, and some, like Peng Fei, came to recruit alchemists. Unfortunately, Yun Yongzhu and the others had already closed their stalls and left, and they had no plans to set up stalls again, so they were destined to come back tomorrow to come back empty-handed. These 600 spirit stones are really worth it. Fortunately, the cave is close to Yun City, otherwise we would have stopped doing this business a long time ago. Yes, brother 9. After just a few words, the two returned to the rented cave. Yun Dachan was reading under the shade of a tree. He had watched Yun Yongzhu refine pills recently and helped him many times, which gave him many insights. He had a feeling that his alchemy skills would improve greatly after he returned to the family. Nineth grandfather, 25th grandfather, are the pills selling so fast? Yun Yongzhu and his partner were discovered by Yun Dachan as soon as they entered the backyard. Chapter 177, Spirit Gathering Pills and Spirit Stones. Chenna, don't you know about the pills made by Xiaojiu? The quality is so good, you'll be lucky if you can buy them. Yun Yongzhu's words made a lot of sense. Poor quality pills are not only slightly less effective, but also contain more impurities. If a cultivator takes low quality or medium quality pills for a long time to improve his cultivation, he must spend extra spirit stones to buy marrow cleansing pills to cleanse his essence and marrow and remove the poison. You should know that even the lowest quality marrow cleansing pills cost as much as 500 or 600 spirit stones. It is precisely because of the high price of marrow cleansing pills that most cultivators are very careful and restrained when taking this kind of pill to improve their cultivation. They have to wait until the impurities and poison contained in the pills they take are naturally excreted from the body with their own metabolism, and they can only take the next pill with confidence. However, although this saves the cost of marrow cleansing pills, it also wastes a lot of time for cultivation, and they can only continue to practice hard. The lifespan of a cultivator in the key training stage is only a dozen or 20 years longer than that of an ordinary person. Wasting time in cultivation is equivalent to wasting life, and it is difficult to cultivate to the 9th level of key training before the age of 60. If there is a top quality key gathering pill, the time of taking the pill can be greatly shortened, and the cultivation can be improved. The poison and impurities produced by the pill are almost equivalent to nothing. So Yun Yongzhu said that buying it is a profit, not only earning the cost of the marrow cleansing pill, but also earning the time for cultivation. To put it more profoundly, it is to earn the opportunity to build a foundation. And from this, we can guess how prosperous the spiritual wine business in Yunwu Mountain is. Even if the spiritual wine is not as effective as the key gathering pill, even if the price of the spiritual wine is a few spiritual stones more expensive than the price of the key gathering pill, the cultivators are not stingy with the spiritual stones in their hands. If it were not for the limitation of materials, the profit of the Yun family's wine would definitely catch up with the profit of selling magic tools. Where is Xiao Jiren? Is he still in the alchemy room? Yun Yongzhu was asking Yun Yongzhu when he ran out of the alchemy room happily with a white jade bottle in his hand. Dad, you, 25th great-grandfather, 9th great-grandfather, you are back. It seems quite early today. Yun Yongzhu looked up and found that Yun Yongzhu and the others had returned so early and couldn't help but be a little surprised. Well, Xiao, what did you want to say just now? Yun Yongzhu thought of the furnace of elixirs that he had just refined and couldn't help but get excited again. He put the bottle of elixirs in his hand on the stone table and said, "Look, this is the elixir I just refined." Yun Dachan pulled out the cork of the bottle in confusion, and a faint fragrance drifted out. He poured out a pill in his palm, and 3 pairs of eyes looked straight at it. Soon after, several people exclaimed, "Gathering spirit pill. This is a medium-grade gathering spirit pill. Xiao, you succeeded. This is really a medium-grade gathering spirit pill." At this time, Yang Liu just came out of the room. She heard the 5 words medium-grade gathering spirit pill and asked in surprise, "Has Zua refined the gathering spirit pill?" She walked to the side of the few people, looked at the pill in the palm of her Taoist partner's hand, and couldn't help but smile happily. "After a month of thinking, I finally refined this gathering spirit pill." Yun Yongzhu felt that it was not easy. It took a month to refine this pill. "Xiao, you are great. You can refine a 2nd level spiritual pill just by your own understanding, and one of them has reached the middle grade. Thanks to my master, he left a lot of annotations in the pill formula, which describes the refining process of the gathering spirit pill in detail, and even the specific processing methods of the spiritual medicine. In fact, the high quality of this gathering spirit pill has a lot to do with the 9-turn alchemy art that Yun Yongzhu chose in the treasure house of the alchemy hall. Yes, thanks to Senior Huang. Xiao, you must show your filial piety to Senior Huang when you have a chance in the future. After a while of chatting about the topic of gathering spirit pills, several people asked Yun Yongzhu to put away the gathering spirit pills. After all, they only refined 2 pills, and it was really hard to share them. 25th Grandpa, why did you go back so early today? Yang Liu remembered to ask about this matter. Normally, the earliest time to sell out the pills is at sea, and later at noon. Yun Yongzhu then told him about his encounter with Peng Fei, a big customer, and mentioned that Lingdan Pavilion wanted to recruit Yun Yongzhu. What kind of power is this Lingdan Pavilion? Yun Yongzhu had been staying in the cave to refine pills, and didn't know much about the power in Xianyuan City. So the 4 of them explained it to Yun Yongzhu one by one. It sounds like this Lingdan Pavilion is quite free, and the alchemists only need to refine the pills. But I'm already a member of Kingshan sect, and the blood soul lamp has been lit, so there is no room for betrayal. We know that we have already rejected Lingdan Pavilion for you, but I'm just telling you. The auction will start in 2 or 3 days. We should not set up a stall recently. I always feel that someone is eyeing us. Yun Yongzhu frowned and asked, Grandpa 25, when did you feel this way? It was yesterday, but I didn't feel it today. Let's not talk about this for now, let's divide the gains of this month. When talking about this topic, everyone became excited. Yang Lia happily pulled off the storage bag on her waist. Grandpa 25, the spirit stones from before are all here. To be on the safe side, the spirit stones earned before will be kept in the cave. Yun Yongzhu asked her to take out all the spirit stones and spread them on the table, and he also took out the income from selling 10 bottles of pills today. The round table was filled with spirit stones, and the spirit stones at the edge were rolling down. A few people knew the approximate number with a glance of their spiritual consciousness, which was nearly 30,000 spirit stones in total. You only need to calculate to know the specific number of spirit stones. Yun Yongzhu opened the furnace nearly 300 times in total, and refined 224 bottles and 3 key gathering pills, all of which were sold out. Almost half of them were top grade key gathering pills, with 1020 pills, each sold for 17 spirit stones, and the income was 17,340 spirit stones. There were also 653 mid-grade key gathering pills, 46 of which were sold at 10 spirit stones each, earning 460 spirit stones, and 607 were sold at 10.5 spirit stones each, earning 6,373.5 spirit stones. There were also 570 low-grade key gathering pills, earning 5,130 spirit stones, and the total income should be 29,303.5. After counting by several people, there were only 28,878 spiritual stones in this pile. The remaining 425.5 spiritual stones were all various first grade, medium and high grade spiritual rice. There were 776 kilograms of high grade spiritual rice, and 111 kilograms of medium grade spiritual rice. The accounts were consistent. Nearly 300 sets of Kedan materials were bought with full year spiritual medicines. The cost of one set of materials reached 22 spiritual stones, which was a total of 6,380 spiritual stones, and the net profit was as high as 22,498 spiritual stones. Everyone was amazed. The money-making ability of this alchemist should not be underestimated. Yun Yongzhu only refined the elixir in the alchemy room. The purchase of materials and the sale of elixir were all done by Yun Yongzhu and the other 4 in turn. The spiritual stones for buying spiritual medicines were all paid by them. There was no dispute over the distribution of the spiritual stones. They had already discussed the distribution plan of the spiritual stones before doing this. Yun Yongzhu paid the 4 people the cost of purchasing spiritual medicine materials according to the prior agreement. He allocated 1,595 spiritual stones to the 9th grandfather Yun Yongzhu, 1,595 spiritual stones to the 25th grandfather Yun Yongzhu, and 3,190 spiritual stones to his mother Yang Lia. As for his father Yun Yongzhu, Yun Yongzhu directly blocked his resentful eyes. He knew that all the materials and spiritual stones in his father's hands were in his mother's hands. Moreover, the couple were inseparable, so it didn't matter who they were given. The remaining 22,498 spiritual stones and spiritual rice worth 425 spiritual stones were the net profit from the sale of key gathering pills this month. After the 5 people divided these spiritual stones and spiritual rice equally, they were all very happy. Especially Yun Yongzhu and his wife. They had never earned so many spiritual stones at one time. Chapter 178 Scholar Sky Sword. Yun Yongzhu insisted on this distribution plan, which can be regarded as his care for his elders. Yun Yongzhu is now a first level lower grade alchemist, and his success rate has reached 20%. Unfortunately, this success rate is still quite low, and the gap between alchemists is also amazing. Even so, he successfully refined a furnace of key gathering pills, deducting the cost of materials, and there is a net income of 3 or 4 spirit stones. Occasionally, a medium grade pill will appear, which is more profitable. However, Yun Yongzhu rarely opened the furnace during this period, and only refined more than 70 key gathering pills, earning 243 spirit stones. Yang Lia's ability to make money is stronger. During these 29 days, she did not only sell pills, but also took time to make talismans. Perhaps because of the improvement of her elm, her success rate in making talismans has also greatly increased. During this period, Yang Liu mainly drew 2 defensive talismans, the water shield talisman and the wood armor talisman. After deducting the cost, she made a net profit of 320 spirit stones, enough to buy a top grade key gathering pill. She is also the one who earns the most spirit stones among the 4. Yun Yongzhu is a first class top grade weapon refiner. During this period, he refined a total of 9 top grade attack magic weapons, and kept 4 of them. The profit of a top grade magic weapon is about 50 or 60 spirit stones, which adds up to more than 250 spirit stones. However, this is only in Xianyuan City. If it were in the city of Yunzhou, it would be impossible to sell 5 top grade magic weapons in such a short time. Yun Yongzhu is not so good. He doesn't know any immortal cultivation skills. This time, he can only make money by selling the key gathering pill refined by Yun Yongzhu. After the spirit stones were distributed, the 5 people did not leave. Yun Yongzhu took out a bottle of pills. Tomorrow is the last day to rent the cave. Before returning the formation restriction jade talisman of this cave the day after tomorrow, you can take this disguise pill, and then go to the martial arts field to participate in the auction. In fact, taking the shape-shifting pill is the best, but Yun Yongzhu only has 1 left. Considering what Yun Yongzhu said about someone secretly spying on them, the others also thought they should cover up, so each of them poured out 2 pills from the jade bottle and kept them. At this moment, Yun Yongzhu's figure changed. He grew more than 2 inches taller, his cheeks became thinner, his arms and thighs also changed, and even his skin color changed drastically. Zua, I haven't seen you for a long time. You look better like this. It turned out that the effect of the shape-shifting pill that Yun Yongzhu took had taken effect. He turned back to his original appearance, and even his spiritual energy and aura returned to normal. Qingshan sectors, so close to Xianyuan City, there should be many cultivators who will come to participate in this auction. Yun Yongzhu plans to take the last low-grade shape-shifting pill when he goes out the day after tomorrow. After agreeing on the arrangements for the next 1 or 2 days, the 5 people went to their own work. Yun Yongzhu refined 2 medium-grade soul-gathering pills today. He returned to the alchemy room and prepared to comprehend the previous refining process, and then strike while the iron is hot and refine another furnace. Just as Yun Yongzhu was summarizing his experience and insights in refining the gathering spirit pill, someone was secretly talking about him. In a secret room. Peng Fei, you said there is an alchemist who can refine a large number of top grade quality gathering spirit pills. Have you found out his identity? Master, the alchemist is very mysterious. I haven't seen him, but I guess he is here to participate in the auction in Xianyuan City. If everything goes well, we will know the true identity of the alchemist at the auction. Well, I leave it to you. You must win him over to our spirit pill pavilion. On the 3rd day, the 5 packed up their things early in the morning and disguised themselves to leave the cave compound where they had lived for a month. 25th Great Grandpa, wait for me outside. I'll go and return the jade talisman. Because only Yun Yongzhu's appearance was still the same as when he first came to Xianyuan City, but they were overthinking. Manager Wang, who handled the rental procedures for them, was not there. He was received by another old cultivator in the early stage of foundation building. Yun Yongzhu came out not long after he entered. Then the 5 of them followed the crowd to the venue of the auction. After about half an hour, they arrived at the martial arts field of Xianyuan City. This martial arts field was built directly on the top of a mountain. A great master directly cut the mountain in half. The organizer of the auction built a building here casually, so there was no open air seating. At this time, thousands of cultivators had gathered here, queuing up to pay the entrance fee to participate in the auction. Yun Yongzhu also hurried forward to line up. They thought to themselves that this auction was really worth it. The entrance fee added up to hundreds of thousands of spirit stones. It didn't take long to pay the spirit stones, and soon it was Yun Yongzhu and the others' turn. Each of them handed 100 spirit stones to the cultivator guarding the door, and they entered the venue smoothly. After entering, he found that the layout inside was not simple. There was a high auction platform and dozens of private rooms. Ordinary monks who participated in the auction also had tables, chairs, and tea. Yun Yongzhu and his 5 companions occupied 2 small tables and sat next to each other. He glanced at it casually and felt that there were 3,000 to 4,000 people, and that did not include the number of monks in the private rooms. Grandpa 25. Are there so many foundation building monks near our Qingshan sect? Yun Yongzhu was very confused. According to his estimation, there should not be so many foundation building monks. 70% to 80% of the monks here are in the foundation building stage. Take a closer look at the clothes of these monks. Many of them came from faraway states. The scale of this auction is probably not small. I heard that it has been promoted for 2 or 3 months. Maybe most of the foundation building monks in the states near Qingshan sect have come here. Yun Yongzhu nodded. Maybe that's the case. A steady stream of monks came into the auction venue. About half an hour later, the door of the auction was closed. At this time, there were about 7,000 or 8,000 people in the venue. Soon after the gate closed, the sound of clang, clang clang rang out in the venue, and then a beautiful foundation building cultivator flew up to the high auction platform. She was the host of this auction. My name is Raumir. I welcome all Taoist friends to participate in this auction in Xianyuan City. There is only one rule for the auction, that is, the highest bidder wins. If there are not enough spiritual stones at the time of the auction, you can use treasures as collateral. The number of collaterals is determined by the number determined by our auction treasure appraiser. If there is a fraudulent bid, our auction will not tolerate it. That's enough nonsense. Now the auction officially begins. Please welcome our first treasure. This is a fire attributed spiritual sword, and its grade has reached the 2nd grade upper grade. This sword is called the Chixio sword, which is made of 2nd grade refined iron, fire rock, and red copper ore. Its sword energy has a miraculous effect of burning. The starting price of this magic weapon is 500 spiritual stones, and each bid must not be less than 50 spiritual stones. As soon as Raumir finished speaking, many cultivators bid enthusiastically. Grandpa 25, this auction is so grand. It's just the beginning and they've already brought out a 2nd grade, top grade spiritual weapon. Yeah, but auctions are like that. Look at these cultivators. Their emotions are all aroused. Just wait and see. The auction price of this Scholar Sky Sword will definitely not be low. Chapter 179. The auction begins. Sure enough, Yun Yongzhu's words came true. In the venue, the bidding sounded continuously, and the reserve price of 500 spirit stones soon reached 700 spirit stones. After a fierce price war, the final transaction price of the Chixio sword reached 950 spirit stones, almost doubling. Raumir was very satisfied with the opening result. Congratulations to this Taoist friend for bidding on the Chixio sword at the price of 950 spirit stones. The next treasure is the 2nd level top grade Lingxiang sword. This spiritual sword is suitable for cultivators with ice and water spiritual roots. This magic weapon is made of 1,000-year-old cold stone and blue tide stone as the main materials. The coldness of its sword body can reduce the opponent's attack speed during the battle. The reserve price of this spiritual weapon is also 500 spirit stones, and each bid must not be less than 50 spirit stones. Another 2nd level top grade magic weapon. It seems that the quality of this auction is very high. Yun Yongzhu said this, but he felt that this auction would definitely have treasures suitable for Master's wife Guana, but he was worried about whether he had enough spirit stones. The price of this Lingxiang sword even surpassed the previous Chixio sword, and the transaction price reached as much as 1,150 spiritual stones. This is because the treasures of different attributes born from heaven and earth are much less than the treasures of the 5 element, not to mention the spiritual, or that can be refined into a 2nd level upper grade spiritual tool. After these 2 upper grade spiritual tools, the auction finally became a little normal. They were all 2nd level middle low grade spiritual objects, occasionally mixed with a 2nd level upper grade treasure, a 2nd level middle grade ironwood heart, starting price. A 2nd level lower grade spiritual tool magic sound bell. The sound of this bell can confuse the opponent during the battle. A 2nd level middle grade spiritual tool spirit gathering bead. This spiritual tool is a spiritual tool for auxiliary cultivation, and wearing it on the body can increase the concentration of spiritual energy around the body. The second level upper grade spiritual medicine 2 heart flower, the main medicine of Linksedan, the reserve prices. The second level lower grade flying spiritual tool stepping cloud boots, starting price. Although Yun Yongzhu wanted to buy a flying spiritual tool, he wanted a flying spiritual tool that could carry people, similar to Yun Zuxuan's black sailboat. The next item to be auctioned is a kind of top grade refining material, meteorite iron from outer space. This is a precious refining material that can be refined into a gold attributed treasure. The starting price is 2,000 spirit stones. Yun Yongzhu was shocked. This was exactly the gold attributed treasure they were looking for. They didn't expect it to appear so soon. They didn't even think about buying gold attributed treasures or elixirs directly. Those were expensive items that cost tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands. Xiaojiu, you should give this meteorite iron to the family. There will definitely be more gold attributed treasures next. Yun Zuxuan secretly sent a message to Yun Yongzhu. Okay then. So Yun Zuxuan joined the competition. Not many people bid for this piece of meteorite iron from outer space, because it is a spiritual material that can only be used by giant and cultivators. However, although there were not many cultivators participating in the auction, those who participated in the competition were obviously not for themselves, and they were not short of spirit stones. In the end, Yun Zuxuan spent 4,800 spirit stones to buy this piece of meteorite iron from outer space, which was more than twice the starting price. After paying the auction price on the spot, Yun Zuxuan happily took the piece of meteorite iron. Now the Yun family had a gift for Gu Zhenren. Yun Yongzhu was very nervous watching from the side, thinking that this piece of meteorite iron would not fall into their hands. Seeing Yun Zuxuan put this piece of gold attributed refining material into the storage bag, Yun Yongzhu finally breathed a sigh of relief. The next one to be auctioned is a top grade marrow cleansing pill with a starting price of 1,000 spirit stones. Marrow cleansing pills are not rare, but top grade marrow cleansing pills are rarely found on the market. Top grade marrow cleansing pills usually only appear at auction venues, and they will be auctioned off by Giant and Zenron. Sure enough, in the end, this top grade marrow cleansing pill was auctioned off by a cultivator of the highest level for 2,500 spirit stones, and the transaction price more than doubled. Although top grade marrow cleansing pills are precious, for most cultivators, middle and lower grade ones are enough. Moreover, most cultivators would wait until the poison in their bodies was expelled before taking the next pill, and would not spend spirit stones to buy the marrow cleansing pill to remove the poison. After the marrow cleansing pill, there was actually a key gathering pill, and the atmosphere in the venue was instantly ignited. 50 bottles of top grade key gathering pills. One can be taken every 29 days. Divide them into 50 groups for auction, and the starting price of each group is 150 spirit stones. You can raise the price as you like. The first group starts 160 spirit stones, 165 spirit stones, 170 spirit stones. The atmosphere in the auction hall was lively, but Yun Yongzhu and others had strange expressions. 25 great grandfather, could this be the key gathering pill we sold? Yun Zuxuan and others thought so too. The four of them have been in Xianyuan City for some time, and they have never heard of any pill shop or business that would sell so many top grade key gathering pills at once. The first group of key gathering pills was quickly sold at a price of 190 spirit stones, followed by the second and third groups. The transaction price of the following key gathering pills never fell below 170 spiritual stones, and the transaction price of the last group even reached 250 spiritual stones. What a pity. If I had known that this pill could be auctioned, I would have bought it no matter what. We lost money. They sold 50 bottles of the same top grade key gathering pill for a whopping 9,300 spiritual stones, while we only sold 8,500 spiritual stones. We lost a lot. Except for Yun Yongzhu, the other four regretted it, and felt that they had suffered a great loss. This top grade key gathering pill is not a difficult task for me. I can just refine it later. But I don't know who collected so many pills, and put them in the auction. Yun Yongzhu comforted him a little, and then focused on the next item. This is a defensive robe. Although it is only a second grade medium grade 1, its defensive power is no less than a second grade top grade defensive armor shield. The robe that Raumir was introducing was extremely beautiful, attracting the attention of all the female cultivators in the venue, even Yang Lia. Not to mention Yang Lia, even the auction host Raumir, while introducing it, was shining with excitement, obviously wanting it very much. It is not easy to refine a defensive magic weapon, not to mention that it has to be refined into such a beautiful appearance. The starting price of this colorful feathered robe is 500 spirit stones, and each bid must not be less than 50 spirit stones. Although this defensive spiritual robe is only a second level medium quality, its starting price is actually the same as a second level top quality offensive spiritual weapon. 600 spirit stones. 650 spirit stones. Mom, do you want this defensive spiritual robe? Yun Yongzhu saw that his mother Yang Lia's eyes were glued to the beautiful robe and couldn't help but ask through voice transmission. No, the same goes for the colorful defensive robe you gave me before. Zua, don't be impulsive. You haven't bought Senior Gu's golden elixir gift yet. Although Yang Lia liked the colorful feathered robe very much, she didn't want her son to spend money on her. Yun Yongzhu saw that Yang Lia refused it outright, knowing that she was worried that she didn't have enough spirit stones. In fact, he was also worried that he didn't have enough spirit stones, so he didn't participate in the auction. But he secretly thought in his heart that when he had more spirit stones in the future, he must buy a beautiful and high-grade defensive spirit clothing for his mother. The final transaction price of this colorful feathered clothing was as high as 2,100 spirit stones, more than 4 times the price, becoming the second most expensive item since the auction began. Chapter 180 Earth Escape Talisman. The next auction is 5 second grade top grade Earth Escape Talismans, which will be auctioned in 5 batches. The starting price is 200 spirit stones. The first Earth Escape Talisman starts. Although the number of second grade spirit talismans is relatively small, they can still be easily purchased in some large shops, even in a small place like Yongzhou. However, spirit talismans like Earth Escape talismans that can escape life are very rare in the world of immortal cultivation. It is a bit exaggerated to say that there is no market for them, but they are relatively rare. Usually, they are only seen occasionally at trade fairs and auctions. Because it is very difficult for cultivators to learn the secret art of the 5-element escape technique passed down from ancient times. But if you don't practice the escape technique, the success rate of drawing the escape talisman will be very low. Moreover, the difficulty of drawing the escape talisman is much higher than other attack, defense, and auxiliary talismans. It is rumored that only cultivators in the foundation building period can draw a first grade escape talisman, and only Jinden Zenran can draw a second grade escape talisman. For various reasons, the value of the escape talisman is becoming more and more precious. The escape talismans are divided into 5 elements, namely the gold escape talisman, wood escape talisman, water escape talisman, fire escape talisman and earth escape talisman. Of course, in addition to the 5-element escape talismans, there are also the more air wind escape talismans, thunder escape talismans and ice escape talismans. The above are all second level escape talismans, and there are also first level escape talismans. The first level escape talismans have a shorter escape distance, so they are cheaper. When a cultivator is in danger of his life, these escape talismans can help him escape instantly and leave the source of danger. Even if the environment does not match the escape talisman, it doesn't matter. Its speed can also be comparable to teleportation, because this world of cultivation is full of the power of the 5-element. However, in certain environments, the power of the escape talisman is greater. For example, using the earth escape talisman to escape underground is extremely fast. Even if the Jinden Zenran has wings, it can't catch up. Yun Yongzhu has the most say in this. He relied on a second level low grade earth escape talisman to escape from a third level monster in the Zuanshan secret realm. In the store, the price of a second level talisman is generally between 100 and 200 spiritual stones. However, this earth escape talisman cannot be estimated by the ordinary market price. According to Yun Yongzhu's guess, the transaction price of these 5 earth escape talismans will at least double or triple. Sure enough, just after Raumir said the words of starting the auction, the bid for the first earth escape talisman doubled soon. It was not until a cultivator called out the astonishing price of 4 spiritual stones that the enthusiasm of the cultivators in the venue for bidding was extinguished. The cultivator who bid 400 spiritual stones was Yun Yongzhu's 9th great-grandfather. Although this Earth Escape talisman is extremely precious and can save lives at critical moments, the spiritual stones in the hands of the cultivators are not blown by the wind. Once this price exceeds the limit they can bear, they can only give up helplessly. Talismans are not spiritual tools that can be used all the time. Except for talismans that can be used 3 or 5 times. Talismans are generally disposable items. 400 spirit stones, if used to buy the spirit gathering pills for cultivation, could barely buy 2 low-grade spirit gathering pills, which could be used for 8 months. Master Jiu, congratulations on bidding for this Earth Escape talisman. Yun Yongzhu still had 2 second-grade low-grade Earth Escape talismans left, so he didn't have much desire for this second-grade high-grade Earth Escape talisman. It's not easy to come across a 5-element escape talisman, and there are still 5 of them. I really shouldn't miss it. Then Yun Yongzhu also bid for an Earth Escape talisman for 500 spirit stones. He bought it for his family as the foundation of Yunwu Mountain in the future. Just like Yun Yongzhu said, it's rare to come across so many Earth Escape talismans at auction. This is actually what the cultivators call an opportunity. The next 3 Earth Escape talismans were even more competitive, and even the last Earth Escape talisman was sold for nearly 800 spirit stones. The next item to be auctioned is a futon, which is made of the gathering spirit wood. Its ability to gather spiritual energy is more than twice that of a futon woven with ordinary gathering spirit vine. Not only that, this futon also contains the tranquil spirit flower, so it also has the effect of concentrating the mind and calming the spirit, making it more efficient when meditating. The starting price of this futon is 300 spiritual stones. Each bid must not be less than 50 spiritual stones. In fact, all spiritual plants that contain spiritual energy have the ability to gather spiritual energy, but the ability of ordinary spiritual medicines and spiritual plants to gather spiritual energy is weak, and only the gathering spirit grass can do it. The gathering spirit wood that Raomi mentioned is very difficult to find. It evolved from ordinary spiritual plants, and its ability to gather spiritual energy is comparable to that of a first-class superior gathering spirit array. When ordinary cultivators find the gathering spirit eye, gathering spirit stone, gathering spirit wood, and gathering spirit spring, they either build a cave on the spot, or try their best to move them to their own cave. It is really surprising that they are used to refine into magic tools. I think it is because this gathering spirit wood did not survive after being moved. Yun Yongzhu thought that he could carry this cushion with him when he went out, so he also made an offer. He spent 550 spirit stones to buy this spirit gathering cushion. This auction finally had something to gain. A second level low grade cage array. Starting price is 1000 spirit stones. The cage array is a trap array, which is used to trap the enemy. Generally speaking, the trap array has the ability to absorb the enemy's spiritual power, weakening its strength and making it unable to escape. This formation is most suitable for cultivators who often hunt monsters, or evil cultivators who make a living by looting. The following is a piece of second level low grade barbarian bullskin, which can be used to refine into a second level defensive magic weapon, or it can be used to carry second level spells and make into second level talismans. The starting price is 100 spirit stones. The next item is a second level low grade alchemy furnace. Starting price is 350 spirit stones. If Yun Yongzhu didn't have the purple gold furnace given by his master, he would definitely bid for this alchemy furnace. The success rate of second level elixirs will be higher if they are refined in a second level alchemy furnace. There is also the first item sold at the auction, the Chixio sword, which is actually very suitable for Yun Yongzhu to use. However, since he already has the Chiyu fan given by his master, he doesn't need to buy another attack spiritual weapon at a high price. A ball of second level medium grade ice silkworm silk. Starting price 15 centimeters of 100-year-old fire jujube wood. Starting price. A second level low grade puppet beast. Starting price 10 bottles of top grade Juling Dan. 1 bottle as a group. The first group starts. Auction price 2 fangs of the second level low grade monster beast black Zuan snake. Starting price 100-year-old tanks in flour. Starting price. A set of second level low grade spiritual weapon 7-star sword. Starting price. 2 kilograms of second level low grade royal jelly. Starting price. 2 pieces of Jinhua stone. Starting price. The next items: spiritual pills, spiritual medicines, spiritual wood, monster materials, spiritual weapons, etc. took turns to appear. Yun Yongzhu only spent 280 spirit stones to bid for the royal jelly, preparing to feed it to the treasure hunting butterfly Wukai to see if it could advance to the second level. It had been a long time since there were any auction items that Jinden Zenran could use, and Yun Yongzhu was getting a little anxious. The next auction item is a spirit egg, which is the offspring of the second level superior purple JB Queen Bee. There is a certain chance that it will be upgraded to the second level Queen Bee in the future. The starting price of this purple JB egg is 100 spirit stones. Chapter 181 5-colored spiritual rice. When Yun Yongzhu heard about the purple JB egg, he participated in the bidding without much hesitation. The auction price of the purple JB was so low because the purple JB had almost no attack power. It only had one ability, which was to collect honey. The purple JB's honey collecting skills were among the best among all the spirit bees. There were many immortal cultivation families that made a living from spirit honey, and they loved the purple JB. However, the purple JB was a favorite food of many monsters, and the spirit honey it brewed often attracted monsters. Therefore, the purple JB was not easy to raise. The main reason why Yun Yongzhu wanted to bid for the purple JB egg was to find food for the colorful spirit butterfly. This guy would eat hundreds of spirit stones every year just to eat spirit honey. Another reason was to pollinate his spirit fruit tree. The last pollination was all done by Wang Yiming using magic, which was not only laborious, but also had a low pollination rate. Anyway, the outside of Loyan Hall was already full of spirit flowers, so he didn't need to spend time planting more. If the purple JB is well cultivated, maybe in addition to the food for the 5-color, there will be some remaining spiritual honey that can be kept for himself, or it can be exchanged for spiritual stones. After 10 or 20 years, if it can produce bee eggs, it can be given to the family, adding another source of income to the family. Yun Yongzhu finally successfully bid for the purple JB egg at the price of 350 spiritual stones. However, although no gold treasures appeared next, a treasure that the family could not miss appeared. 5 catties of first grade high quality spiritual rice 5-color spiritual rice seeds. With a cultivation manual, the maximum yield per mu is 260 catties, and the starting price is 10 spiritual stones. This starting price is the lowest since the auction began, but the transaction price must be the highest multiple. 20 spiritual stones. 30 spiritual stones. All of these bidders, without exception, are family cultivators. For a family that already has first grade high quality spiritual rice seeds, these 5 catties of 5-color spiritual rice seeds are worth at most 5 spiritual stones. But for a family that does not have first grade high quality spiritual seeds, it is very important. For example, the 4 major families in Yunzhou all need to purchase first grade high quality spiritual rice from the Liu family in Wu'ai Valley. Because in several states near Yunzhou, only their Liu family has first grade high quality spiritual rice black pearls. This is also one of the reasons why the Liu family of Wu'ai Valley has stood firm in Yunzhou for 1,000 years and has become the richest in Yunzhou's cultivation world. Pills are too expensive. For most casual cultivators and cultivators from cultivation families, spiritual rice is the most important cultivation material. Take Yunwu Mountain as an example. In addition to 3 spiritual stones and 3 contribution points, each member of the late key training clan also has 10 kilograms of first grade high quality spiritual rice. Adding up all the monthly spiritual rice allowances, about 220 kilograms of first grade high quality spiritual rice need to be distributed every month. Converted into spiritual stones, it is 110 spiritual stones. Moreover, with the development of the family and the increase in the number of cultivators in the late key training period, the consumption of first grade high quality spiritual rice will increase. The biggest problem with this spiritual rice is not just the consumption of spiritual stones, which means that the family has handed over its lifeline to others. Although the possibility is not great, if the other party does something with the spiritual rice, the family will suffer heavy losses, and may even directly lead to the extinction of a family. In fact, what everyone is competing for this time is not the 5 kilograms of spiritual rice seeds, but the accompanying cultivation manual, which is the most important. Because Yun Yongzhu actually has the ability to buy first grade, upper grade, or even second grade, lower grade spiritual rice seeds in the sect, but without the methods and skills of cultivation and planting, it is useless to buy them. This is not a joke. More than 10 years ago, he saw Wang Yiming take care of 3 kinds of first grade, medium and lower grade spiritual rice. What he could see was that there were many differences in the care of the 3 kinds of spiritual rice. Moreover, Wang Yiming also avoided him to handle the seeds of spiritual rice and other spiritual medicines, which further shows that the cultivation of spiritual plants is not a simple matter. After more than 10 rounds of bidding, Yun Yongzhu finally won the 5 kilograms of 5-color spiritual rice seeds at the price of 300 spiritual stones, which is 30 times the starting price. After the 5-color spiritual rice, the gold spiritual object that Yun Yongzhu expected still did not appear. 1000 miles message talisman, starting price 200 spiritual stones. This item is practical, but it is not very useful. If there is no need, only people from the family or sect will be interested in it. In the end, Yun Yongzhu bought it for 380 spiritual stones. It is estimated that it will be put into the treasure house of Yunwu Mountain as a heritage. Heavenly Fire Meteor Hammer, a magic weapon suitable for body refining cultivators. Starting price: 100 years of heartbreak grass. Starting price: 10 pieces of the second level top grade defensive talisman. The first one is starting. The starting prices. The defensive power of this golden gang talisman is relatively outstanding among the second level defensive talismans. Yun Yongzhu has not yet mastered the golden gang cover spell. Thinking that he only has one piece in his hand, he spent 300 spiritual stones to buy one piece for self-defense. A portion of the heaven and earth spirit water at a ratio of 10:1. The starting price is 100 spiritual stones. The so-called 10:1 means that the spiritual water obtained by diluting 1 drop of spiritual milk with 10 drops of water, and a portion is only 1 drop. Speaking of this spiritual water of heaven and earth, there are actually 2 kinds. One is naturally generated between heaven and earth, and the other is blended by cultivators. The latter is auctioned this time. Compared with the 2, the former is more rare. Although Yun Yongzhu still has a higher purity spiritual water of heaven and earth in his hand, he doesn't mind taking another one, spending 210 spirit stones to get it. A poison sac of the second level middle grade black cloud scorpion. The starting price is 150 spirit stones. A 500-year-old golden spirit fruit. The starting price is 300 spirit stones. Yun Yongzhu's eyes lit up, and finally another gold attributed treasure appeared. I don't know if my master's wife can use it. No matter what, I'll take it first and spend another 680 spirit stones. A set of spiritual weapon mother and child jade bracelets. Attack and defense. Starting price 320 spirit stones. A second level low grade golden sun pill. Starting price 260 spirit stones. Although this bottle of pills is suitable for gold attributed cultivators, it can only assist foundation building cultivators and cultivation, and is useless to Giant and Zenran. 1 thunder eagle egg. It will become a 3rd level spiritual bird when it grows up. The starting price is 180 spiritual stones, and each bid must not be less than 30 spiritual stones. Please bid. However, this thunder eagle egg was not very popular. There were mostly casual cultivators in the auction venue, and it would take at least 500 years for a thunder eagle to grow up, if not 800 years. When it grows up, it will be a problem whether I'm still alive. However, despite this thunder eagle egg was still auctioned off, and the person who bought it was Yun Yongzhu. He had been waiting for a suitable flying spiritual weapon. The most common flying magic weapon and spiritual weapon is the flying sword, which can be used for both attack and transportation. The boat-shaped flying spiritual weapon he wanted is very rare. It is recorded in the classics that this thunder eagle is born with the power of thunder and lightning, and its escape speed after adulthood is comparable to that of a giant and Zenran. Yun Yongzhu planned to do his best to cultivate this Thunder Eagle to see if he could speed up its advancement and help him earlier. He spent 600 spiritual stones to get this Thunder Eagle egg. A piece of red flame crystal, the starting price is 120 spirit stones. A piece of cloud iron stone, the starting price is 110 spirit stones. 100-year-old polygonum multiflorum, the starting price is 100 spirit stones. Or 1000-year-old dark wood, the starting price is 300 spirit stones. Just as Yun Yongzhu was anxiously waiting, he finally heard the voice he had always wanted to hear. A piece of earth fire rock crystal, the starting price is 2000 spirit stones, and each bid must not be less than 100 spirit stones. Although the name of this material contains the word fire, it is actually a gold-based refining material. This earth fire rock crystal is a third level low grade spirit material. Judging from its size, it should be able to be used to refine a treasure. Yun Yongzhu opened his mouth and offered a sky-high price of 4000 spirit stones, doubling it in one breath, which frightened the entire venue into silence. However, there were still people who bid, and Yun Yongzhu only opened his mouth twice more and successfully won the earth fire rock crystal at a price of 4200 spirit stones. At this time, he still had more than 68,000 spirit stones left, which was much more than he expected. Because Yun Yongzhu originally budgeted 10,000 for the gold attributed material, and he planned to buy a top grade flying spirit boat, which would cost at least 10,000 or 20,000. If the competition was too fierce, it would even cost more than 30,000 spirit stones. However, the top grade flying spirit boat had not yet been produced, so he only spent 600 spirit stones to bid for a Thunder Eagle egg, saving the spirit stones. In addition to the 6,000 spirit stones harvested from the Zhuanshan secret realm, and the 4,500 earned from refining pills in a month, this is the remaining amount. But in the future, it will cost more spirit stones to cultivate a Thunder Eagle, and of course it will cost more time and energy. Raising a spirit beast is not a simple matter. Yun Yongzhu relaxed a lot after bidding for this piece of earth fire rock crystal, and watched the auction proceed leisurely. At this point in the auction, more than 100 items have been auctioned. Although not all items are fine products, they have been scrambled for by everyone, which can be said to be exciting and thrilling. Chapter 182 5 Element Stone. A piece of 100-year-old warm jade, starting price is 100 spirit stones. Golden sand half a teal, starting price is 500 spirit stones. A nightshade flower, starting price is 200 spirit stones. A bottle of second grade superior nourishing elixir, starting price is 4000 spirit stones. After the earth fire rock crystal, the rare materials for refining second grade spiritual tools and elixirs came on stage one after another. Yun Yongzhu recognized some of them and some of them were not. Just after more than a dozen rounds of auctions, another very precious refining material suddenly appeared. The next auction item is the 5 element stone. Refiners know that, whether it is when refining spiritual tools or treasure tools, as long as a little 5 element stone powder is added, the power of the refined magic weapon will be greatly increased, and there is even a slight chance that the magic weapon will have spirituality. This piece of 5 element stone weighs 1 teal, and the starting price is 10,000 spirit stones. Each bid must not be less than 300. Yun Yongzhu was instantly interested and moved when he heard about this auction item. This is not only known by weapon refiners, even Yun Yongzhu, a layman, has heard of the name of the 5 element stone. For weapon refiners, the 5 element stone is equivalent to the 100-year-old and 1000-year-old spiritual milk that alchemists dream of. Raomir's voice seemed to cast the charm spell, attracting the monks in the venue to bid frantically. 11,000 spiritual stones. 12,000 spiritual stones. In this short period of time, Yun Yongzhu has thought about whether he should participate in the auction several times. He thought that he didn't know if the master had the corresponding golden spiritual pill recipe for the 500-year-old golden spiritual fruit. If there is no recipe, the effect of eating the golden spiritual fruit directly at the golden elixir stage may not be so great. And the meteorite iron that the 25th great-grandfather bought, and the earth fire rock crystal that he bought, are both refining materials that can be used to refine gold attributed treasures, so it is inevitable that there is some overlap. Yun Yongzhu was born in a family of weapon refiners. Although he didn't know much about refining magic weapons, he still had some basic common sense. Refining weapons is actually the same as refining pills. Alchemists have pill recipes, and weapon refiners also need magic weapon diagrams to be able to follow the instructions and refine the magic weapon. It is not as simple as just throwing all the precious refining materials into the refining furnace for quenching and shaping. If Guana wanted to refine a treasure, she would not give the meteorite iron and the earth fire rock crystal to the weapon refiner. She must choose one of them as the main material of her magic weapon, and it is very likely to be the meteorite iron. In this case, Yun Yongzhu's earth fire rock crystal would be given away for nothing, which would seem insincere. It would be different if the 5-element stone was given away. It could be used in combination with meteorite iron or other more precious refining materials. The bidding sound in the venue was endless. After 6 or 7 rounds, the reserve price of 10,000 was doubled. Raumia was excited and agitated on the auction stage, and she continued to fan the flames. Fellow Daoists and seniors, this 5-element stone is very precious. Even in our Xianyuan city auction, the last time a 5-element stone appeared was 100 years ago. If you miss this time, you may never have the chance to see this 5-element stone again in this life. Her words prompted Yun Yongzhu to make up his mind to bid for this 5-element stone. 25th great grandfather, didn't you bid for 1,000 miles communication talisman before? Yun Yongzhu looked at him with a puzzled look, motioning him to continue. I want to take a picture of this 5-element stone. I'm worried that someone will join forces to follow us, so I want to borrow this communication talisman from you. What do you mean by borrow or not? You're treating me as an outsider, right? Yun Yongzhu was unhappy when he heard that, but he immediately came to his senses and said, you want to send a message to Senior Huang? Yes, if we really encounter a joint siege by many people, at most I can write to Master directly. Master won't be in seclusion recently, and Qingshan sect is not far from here. With his cultivation, he will be able to arrive soon. Just treat it as asking him to pick me up. Yun Yongzhu felt that this was God's arrangement. If it weren't for this 1,000 miles communication talisman, he would never dare to take the idea of the 5-element stone in Xianyuan city. Yun Yongzhu originally thought that they had already taken pictures of the meteorite iron and the earth fire rock crystal, which was already very eye-catching, but with Jindan Zenran as a backer, he was not so worried. In fact, as a member of the weapon refining family, Yun Yongzhu and others knew the 5-element stone very well, and they also coveted it. It was a pity that they had only the spirit stones, but not enough force, and could only watch the treasure being auctioned off by others. Up to now, the auction has sold more than 5 treasures that can be used by Jindan cultivators, and there have been nearly 10 times when the transaction price exceeded 50,000 spirit stones. Therefore, although they are more conspicuous, it is not a big problem for the 5 of them to return to Qingshan sect safely. But if they bid for this 5-element stone again, there is no guarantee that there will not be cultivators with bad intentions who will unite to rob and kill them. Money can move people's hearts, and perhaps this 5-element stone is the treasure that those bad cultivators have determined to target. For them, a few foundation building cultivators, it takes a day to travel to Xianyuan city, but for Jindan Zenran, the distance of 1,000 miles between Xianyuan city and Qingshan sect is only half an hour. Since you have come up with an idea, then boldly participate in the auction. If the spirit stones are not enough, we still have a lot. Xiaojiu, make a bold bid, and take this 5-element stone. Yun Yongzhu was full of courage. Once he was sure that there was a way out with Huang Chengsheng, he encouraged Yun Yongzhu's actions. In fact, this was mainly because this 5-element stone was large enough. According to its weight, it should be enough to refine 5 or 6 magic weapons. This is also one of the reasons why the starting price was so high. Yun Yongzhu had the idea of bidding for this 5-element stone, and this was also the reason. Take 1 step, and see 10 steps. He will have to refine his own treasure in the future, when he forms a pill. Now that he has encountered it, and has enough financial resources, how can he miss it? Just like what the host Raumir said, it is really uncertain whether he can encounter this 5-element stone again in the future. My spirit stones should be enough. Yun Yongzhu calculated his savings in his mind. No matter how precious this 5-element stone is, it is just a refining material and cannot increase his cultivation. With more than 60,000 spirit stones, it should be a sure thing to take it. 26,300 spirit stones. 26,600 spirit stones. At this time, the number of monks participating in the auction had been reduced by half, but all the monks participating in the bidding were still deadlocked. They refused to give in, and all had an attitude of being determined to win. Yun Yongzhu did not rush in, but waited until there were only a few bidders left, and the price rose to 30,000 spirit stones. Then he suddenly spoke. 30,000. 30,300 spirit stones. 30,600 spirit stones. 30,900 spirit stones. At this time, there were only 3 or 5 bidders left in the venue, and only Yun Yongzhu was the most eye-catching among them, because he was the only one who was not in the box. Yun Yongzhu paused for a while, and then said, 31,200 spirit stones. He was afraid that his appearance of not lacking spirit stones would attract other monks to bid randomly. Who knows if there is an auction or a shill hired by the owner of the 5-element stone in secret. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 183 5-element stone obtained. Yun Yongzhu bid for a while, but after only 2 bids, he raised the auction price of the 5-element stone from more than 20,000 spiritual stones to 30,000. However, his method was very effective. Before Yun Yongzhu opened his mouth, there were still 3 or 5 monks competing to bid. At this time, after waiting for 3 or 4 breaths, a monk finally called out the bid. 31,500 spiritual stones. 31,800. 32,100 pieces. In the end, Yun Yongzhu defeated other competitors with a price of 32,400 spiritual stones, and got the precious 5-element stone as he wished. This transaction price was not the highest transaction price since the beginning of this auction, but it was very eye-catching, because the 5-element stone was just a material for refining equipment, and the transaction price of more than 30,000 seemed a bit high. When Yun Yongzhu took the 5-element the size of a baby's fist in his hand, he could clearly feel a sense of crisis coming over him. Feeling the monks in the auction house spying on him, Yun Yongzhu thought that it seemed that he could not leave the city after the auction. 25th Grandfather, after the auction, we will go separately. I will be responsible for attracting the eyes in the dark, and you take the opportunity to use the 1,000 miles communication talisman to send a message to my master. Okay, I got it. After the agreement, Yun Yongzhu found the purple gold furnace that Huang Chengsheng had just given him and handed it to Yun Zuxun, and then just sat quietly in the auction venue as a spectator. The use of the 1,000 miles communication talisman is not much different from the use of ordinary low-level communication talismans, but if you want to accurately and quickly send the communication talisman to Huang Chengsheng's hands, unless Yun Yongzhu sends the communication talisman himself. Otherwise, some assistance is needed, such as the spiritual power, breath, and accessor is often worn by the person sending the message. The reason why Yun Yongzhu gave the purple gold alchemy furnace was because his master had used this furnace for many years, and he could collect the breath of his master Huang Chengsheng from the furnace. The next item to be auctioned is the seed of the 4th level bloodthirsty vine, with a starting price of 800 spirit stones. Each bid must not be less than 50 spirit stones. Although the bloodthirsty vine is a spiritual plant, it is not a spiritual medicine. Seriously speaking, it should be considered a plant-type monster. Moreover, the bloodthirsty vine has a higher attack power than most monsters. Its attack methods are nothing more than whipping, entanglement, strangling, etc. The bloodthirsty vine's talent is bloodthirstiness. Its growth mainly relies on absorbing the blood of cultivators and monsters. The more blood it absorbs, the faster it grows. The largest bloodthirsty vine in the history of the cultivation world is thousands of feet tall and has a 4th level grade. Even the ancestors of the nascent soul stage will take a detour when they see it. However, it is precisely because this bloodthirsty vine is naturally bloodthirsty, so once its grade exceeds its owner, it is particularly easy to backfire. Even so, there are many cultivators who pursue power competing for the seeds of this bloodthirsty vine, hoping to obtain more resources for cultivation with it. 2 pieces of the main feathers of the lovebirds are suitable for refining a set of magic weapons. The starting price is 300 spirit stones. 1 plant of kingling grass. The starting price is 200 spirit stones. 10 bottles of the first grade top grade Jade Dew Beauty Pill, auctioned in 10 batches. The starting price is 1000 spirit stones. Through the host's explanation, Yun Yongzhu learned that the effect of the Jade Dew Beauty Pill is different from that of the Huanan Pill. It can only slow down the aging process, unlike the Huanan Pill, which can make people return to youth immediately after taking it. However, if a cultivator can take the Jade Dew Beauty Pill for 3 consecutive years, it can slowly restore a person's appearance to its peak. However, once this pill is stopped for more than a year, it will soon return to its original state. A piece of 1000-year-old black iron. The starting price is 3000 spirit stones. This 1000-year-old black iron is also a top-grade gold attributed spiritual material for refining artifacts. The 1000-year-old black iron can be used to refine the natal treasure of the Jinden Zenren, a second-grade top-grade king iron pill. The starting price is 300 spirit stones. According to the host Raumir, this king iron pill is a second-grade top-grade spirit pill for detoxification. As long as it is not a top 100 poison on the list of strange poisons, it can instantly dissolve it. Yun Yongzhu was very interested in this pill, but he had no intention of bidding. He wanted to get the pill formula and make it himself. To his surprise, the king iron pill fell into the hands of the 25th great-grandfather. It seems that this pill will be collected in the Yunwu Mountain clan treasury again. Yun Yongzhu thought very clearly that, although he might encounter a large auction in the future, he would not have the Jinden Zenren to escort him at that time. Besides, the Yunwu Mountain clan treasury has been idle for many years, and it is time to slowly add some treasures to it to add a foundation to the family and a guarantee for the clan members. The next auction item is very special. It is a 5-acre first-grade high-quality spiritual field. This 5-acre spiritual field is located in Beilazhou. This is new. Even spiritual fields can be auctioned. Yun Yongzhu has never seen it before. He watched with interest as more than a dozen people in the auction room quoted their prices without thinking, competing for the ownership of the 5-acre spiritual field. It seems that they are all foundation building cultivators from Beilazhou. The level of cultivation in Beilazhou is quite high. The bidding time for this spiritual field can be regarded as the longest competition since the auction began. In the end, the 5-acre spiritual field was sold at a price of 53,000 spirit stones, which was very eye-catching. Yun Yongzhu and others were happy to see this happen. The more this happened, the more it would attract attention from them. A second-grade, low-grade purple wolf hair talisman brush, made from the tip hair of the mutant purple moon wolf's tail, and second-grade, high-grade purple jade bamboo. Using this talisman brush to make talismans can increase the success rate by 10%. The starting price of the purple wolf hair talisman brush is 2000 spirit stones, and each bid must not be less than 100 spirit stones. Yang Lia's eyes lit up when she heard this. After waiting for so long, there was finally a magic weapon suitable for her. After more than a dozen rounds of bidding, she finally auctioned it off for 3400 spirit stones. 1 snake spirit flower, starting price 200 spirit stones. 1 portion of kingling water, starting price 300 spirit stones. 1 liang of Tangshan Peak Cloud Tea, starting price 300 spirit stones. This auction seemed to have no end, with magic weapons and spiritual objects appearing one after another, and everyone hated that they didn't bring enough spirit stones. Yun Daichen, the only one who didn't bid, also bought a second-grade, low-grade attack spiritual weapon in the back. The couple also took a picture of the boat-shaped low-grade flying spiritual tool that Yun Yongzhu originally wanted to buy. Of course, the transaction price was not low, 13,000 spiritual stones, and they also borrowed spiritual stones from the clan. 2 or 3 hours passed in the continuous auction, and most people took pictures of the treasures they liked. Even for the cultivators who did not take pictures of the auction items, this trip was not in vain. They saw many precious treasures that they had never seen or heard of before. The entrance fee of 100 spiritual stones was very worthwhile. They got to know many spiritual flowers, spiritual medicines, spiritual herbs, spiritual trees, etc. that they had never known before. If they can meet them in the wild in the future, they will not miss the opportunity. Fellow Taoists, seniors, after such a long auction, the ordinary auction items of this auction have finally been auctioned off. Yun Yongzhu thought that the host Rao Mir was going to say that the auction was successfully concluded, but it turned out that only the ordinary auction items were over. Next is the highlight of our auction. Please welcome our finale item. As soon as Rao Mir finished speaking, another beautiful female foundation building cultivator flew onto the auction stage from nowhere and handed her a storage bag. Everyone was shocked and looking forward to this scene. They couldn't believe that the previous auction items were all ordinary auction items. The same was true for Yun Yongzhu and others. Chapter 184 Purple Heart Pill and Foundation Building Pill. We have prepared 3 items for the finale auction. The first item is the Purple Heart Pill. Rao Mir said as she took out a small lavender jade bottle from her storage bag. Yun Yongzhu was surprised to hear the name of this item. He didn't expect that there would be a barrier breaking pill suitable for foundation building cultivators being auctioned here. This Xianyuan city is really powerful. However, Yun Yongzhu has just established his foundation for a short time, and it is still a long time before he reaches the next great realm. So he just watched the fun and didn't care who would win the Purple Heart Pill. He wanted to know what price this Purple Heart Pill could be auctioned for. The Purple Heart Pill is a barrier breaking elixir that specifically assists foundation building cultivators to break through the barriers of cultivation. Whether it is a breakthrough from the early stage of foundation building to the middle stage of foundation building, or a breakthrough from the middle stage of foundation building to the late stage of foundation building, after taking the Purple Heart Pill, you can easily break through the bottleneck that bothers us. Barrier breaking pills are very precious and usually don't circulate on the market. Occasionally, a few of them are circulated, and most of them are controlled by major forces and auctioned. Moreover, the recipes of barrier breaking pills are also very rare, and are usually only owned by powerful forces. Therefore, most cultivators have never heard of the names of these precious pills. When everyone in the venue heard that the Purple Heart Pill was a barrier breaking pill, they all stared at the purple pill bottle in Rao Mir's hand with shining eyes. When they knew that the Purple Heart Pill was suitable for cultivators in the early and middle stages of foundation building, their eyes were even more blazing. The starting price of this Purple Heart Pill is 30,000 spiritual stones, and each bid must not be less than 1,000 spiritual stones. Interested Taoist friends, please bid enthusiastically. As soon as the host Rao Mir finished speaking, the cultivators in the venue immediately rushed to bid. 35,000 spiritual stones. You want to bid for this Purple Heart Pill for 35,000? You are dreaming. I'll bid 40,000 spiritual stones. The scene was very hot. Most of the bids at this time were ordinary cultivators sitting outside. There were no cultivators in the box participating in the auction. Yun Yongzhu guessed that they wanted to wait until there were fewer bidders and the bidding speed slowed down before participating in the auction. Sure enough, after 7 or 8 rounds of bidding, fewer and fewer monks bid. Each time the monks who bid had to go through a psychological struggle for several breaths before they made up their minds to shout out the next bid. 54,000 spirit stones. 55,000 spirit stones. 60,000 spirit stones. With the bids of the monks in the box, only 2 monks were left gritting their teeth and persisting. However, after the bid exceeded 60,000 spirit stones, only the monks in the box were still deadlocked. 63,000 spirit stones. 64,000 spirit stones. 70,000 spirit stones. If there is a higher bid, this Purple Heart Pill will be given to you, fellow Taoist. After this was said, no one really bid anymore. Although the Purple Heart Pill is priceless, if measured in spirit stones, even if it is 100,000 or 200,000, there are still people willing to pay, but the reality is that most cultivators do not have so many spirit stones. 70,000 is already a bit high, which is almost catching up with the price of a foundation building pill. The transaction price of this first lot is as high as 70,000 spirit stones, which is worthy of being the finale, and instantly suppresses Yun Yongzhu's 5-element stone, which was sold for more than 32,000 spirit stones. The 5 of them are of course happy to see this happen, thinking that the more precious the finale, the better, just to help them attract the eyes of those with bad intentions. Let us congratulate this fellow Taoist for successfully bidding for this precious purple heart pill. The next lot is also a pill, that is the foundation building pill. Wow, the scene instantly boiled, especially the family cultivators, sect cultivators, or cultivators whose relatives have cultivated to the 9th level of key refining, or key refining great perfection. The foundation building pill is different from the purple heart pill. Its name is so famous in the world of immortal cultivation, that even the little kids who have just started practicing, have probably heard of it. Although the foundation building pill is famous, nearly 90% of the foundation building cultivators at the scene did not build their foundations by taking the foundation building pill. Taking the foundation building pill is not the only way to build a foundation. Most cultivators do not have the ability and opportunity to obtain spiritual objects for building a foundation, so they can only burn their boats and build their foundations by force with great perseverance. The results of forcibly building a foundation are generally divided into 3 categories. The first is to successfully build a foundation. After going through 9 deaths and 1 life, only 1 or 2 people out of 100 can successfully build a foundation. The second result is death and disappearance, which is also the result of most cultivators who force themselves to build a foundation. The third is that the foundation is not successful, but they survive by chance, and their bodies are severely injured, and their vitality is greatly damaged. Moreover, the probability of a cultivator surviving by force building a foundation is only slightly higher than the probability of successfully building a foundation. In addition to forcibly building a foundation by yourself, among other methods, taking the foundation building pill is the safest way to build a foundation. Therefore, since the foundation building pill was developed by the ancient alchemy master, it has been enthusiastically sought after by all low-level cultivators in the world of immortal cultivation. After countless years of endless demands, the main material for refining the foundation building pill is difficult to find in the outside world. Only in a few secret realms can it be obtained in small quantities. This also leads to the increasing value of the foundation building pill. The starting price of this foundation building pill is 50,000 spirit stones. Each increase in price must not be less than 1,000 spirit stones. This starting price can be said to be very low. Even if the cultivators of Qingshan sect use points to exchange for the foundation building pill, it will cost 30,000 sect points. According to the conversion rate of sect points and spirit stones, 30,000 sect points are at least worth more than 80,000 or even 90,000 spirit stones. 60,000 spirit stones. 70,000 spirit stones. Without giving other cultivators a chance to speak, the cultivators in the box raised the reserve price of this foundation building pill by 10,000 or 20,000. In fact, even if the casual cultivators wanted to compete, they did not have enough capital. Yun Yongzhu and the other 5 were also shocked by the bidding price. They didn't expect the cultivator in the box to be so bold and increase the price by 10,000 as soon as he opened his mouth. 80,000 spirit stones. 82,000 spirit stones. 85,000 spirit stones. 90,000 spirit stones. This is all the spirit stones our Qi family can take out. 91,000 spirit stones. Thank you very much, brother Qi. Who else can bid more than me? No one in the venue responded. Fairy Row, let's set the bid. Seeing this, Raomir hurriedly asked, are there any Taoist friends who want to bid? If not, this foundation building pill will have a master? She waited for about 3 or 4 breaths before clapping her hands to decide who the foundation building pill belonged to. Yun Yongzhu calculated the remaining foundation building pills in his family. If calculated at this price, wouldn't it be worth more than 450,000 spirit stones? If this matter were known to others, there is no doubt that Yunwu Mountain would immediately attract the patronage of all cultivators, and even be razed to the ground. The next item is the last one in our Zion Yuan City auction. Chapter 185 Treasure Embryo. The first two items were already amazing to everyone, and this last item was even more curious. What kind of treasure could be the closing item of this auction? Raumelia did not delay any longer, and then revealed the secret. This item is the embryo of a flying treasure. As soon as she said this, two strong pressures suddenly appeared in the venue. Yun Yongzhu had only felt it on Jinden Zenran. He was secretly shocked. He didn't expect that there would be Jinden Zenran participating in this auction, and there were two of them. The spiritual pressure of these Jinden Zenran was fleeting, as if it was just to show their presence. Everyone guessed that these two Jinden Zenran were monks arranged for this auction. Sure enough, Raumelia explained on the auction stage, "Fellow Daoists, don't panic. These two seniors are Jinden masters specially invited by our auction to maintain order at the venue. As long as fellow Daoists and seniors participate in the auction according to the rules of the auction, there will be no danger. It makes sense. Not to mention how precious this treasure is. Just the first two finale items are worth a huge fortune of 160,000 spiritual stones. Adding the ordinary items before, the revenue of the auction should exceed 3 million spiritual stones. Of course, seniors are needed to protect this huge fortune." After Raumelia finished speaking, she continued to turn back to the topic of the auction items. "Fellow Daoists, seniors, the starting price of the embryo of this flying treasure is 100,000 spiritual stones, and each bid must not be less than 2,000 spiritual stones. Please bid." Although all the cultivators at the venue were salivating, most of them were already penniless and did not have enough financial resources to participate in the auction. Moreover, even if it was a treasure embryo, it was not something that these foundation building cultivators were capable of collecting in public. 102,000. 104,000. I bid 110,000 spirit stones. Just as two cultivators were bidding, a Jinden Zenran came out to bid. No wonder the auction arranged to Jinden Zenran to take charge. It was probably because there were other protective measures in secret. Although he was a Jinden, he did not scare away other competitors. 102,000 pieces. 114,000 spirit stones. 116,000 spirit stones. In this way, 2,000 and 2,000 were added up. After more than 10 rounds, only two Jinden cultivators were left arguing. 150,000. 102,000 spirit stones. Little friend Ro, I have a treasure here. I would like to ask the treasure appraiser of the auction to give an estimate. Suddenly, one of the bidders interrupted the bidding. It seemed that he did not have enough spirit stones and was determined to bid for this treasure embryo. Everyone, please wait a moment. Then a cultivator entered the Jinden Zenran's box and did not come out until a quarter of an hour later. It was unknown whether he had given an estimate to the senior. Seeing that the person had left the Jinden cultivator's box, Raumir hurriedly asked senior, "Do you still want to participate in the auction?" "Of course. I'll offer 160,000 spirit stones." In the end, the Jinden cultivator successfully won the embryo of the flying treasure at the price of 160,000 spirit stones. In fact, he made a profit by bidding for this treasure at this price. You know, the value of a finished flying treasure is definitely far more than 160,000 spirit stones. However, how to turn this treasure embryo into a real treasure, as well as the quality of the treasure, etc., require the Jinden Zenran to think of a way. Congratulations to this senior for winning the last auction item. This auction has come to a successful conclusion. Fellow Taoists who did not win any items can go shopping in Yun City. I hope you will come to Yun City again when the auction is held next time. I'm the auctioneer Raumir. Thank you. After she finished speaking, she left the auction platform and ran away. In this Yun City auction, all the items were paid for with spirit stones on the spot, and the items were received on the spot, so there was no problem of paying for all the spirit stones. After the host Raumelia left the auction platform, all the cultivators in the venue stood up and walked towards the exit. Yun Yongzhu and others dispersed according to the original plan. Even so, Yun Yongzhu, with his sharp and powerful spiritual sense, still noticed that more than a dozen cultivators seemed to be approaching him unintentionally. He saw his 25th great-grandfather successfully walked out of the auction venue first, and he breathed a sigh of relief. But he was not completely relieved. Yun Yongzhu was not sure whether Yun Zuxuan was really not being followed. If they were unlucky enough to be spotted by Jinden Zenran and the Qianli communication talisman sent by Yun Zuxuan was intercepted, then the 5 of them would have to stay in Xianyuan City for a while longer. However, Yun Yongzhu's worries were completely unnecessary. The few things he bought could not attract the attention of Jinden Zenran. Yun Yongzhu had just walked out of the auction gate when he was blocked by a strange cultivator. He thought it was a cultivator with bad intentions and instantly took the red feather fan given by his master in his hand. Dao. Slow down, put away the spiritual weapon in your hand quickly. This is Xianyuan City, don't be impulsive. Yun Yongzhu's action scared the other party, who was afraid that Yun Yongzhu would fight with him, so he quickly stayed away from Yun Yongzhu. Seeing that he did not do anything bad, Yun Yongzhu put away the red feather fan and felt that he was too nervous. Fellow Daoist, may I ask why you are blocking my way? I'm Peng Fei. May I ask if you are the alchemist who can refine the top grade key gathering pill? Yun Yongzhu suddenly realized that it was the manager of the Lingdan Pavilion. What alchemist? I don't know what you are talking about. Yun Yongzhu had no intention of joining the Lingdan Pavilion, so he denied that he was the alchemist. Fellow Daoist, there is no need to deny it. Since I was able to find you, of course I have my own way. I'm the manager of the Lingdan Pavilion. I wonder if we can find a quiet place to talk in detail. Seeing that Peng Fei was sure that he was the alchemist, Yun Yongzhu wondered how the other party found him. I have heard of your Lingdan Pavilion, but I have no intention of joining your Lingdan Pavilion. Please get out of the way. This was equivalent to acknowledging his identity as an alchemist. Peng Fei's eyes lit up, and he was sure that he had found the right person. While the two were talking, Yun Zuxuan and his companions returned. Xiaojiu, everything is going well. We are just waiting for Senior Huang to arrive. At this time, Yun Zuxuan and Yun Zuxan were not their original appearances when they set up the stall, and Peng Fei did not recognize them. Dao, if you join our Lingdan Pavilion, we can send people to protect you. Yun Yongzhu did not wait for him to finish his words, and simply refused. I'm an inner disciple of Qingshan sect, and I can't join your Lingdan Pavilion. That's it, please get out of the way. Then the 5 of them left directly. Nearly half an hour later, he received a sound transmission node sent to him by his master Huang Chengsheng, asking him where he was. At this time, the 5 of them were already waiting at the south gate of Xianyuan City. Chapter 186 Fighting 1. After a while, Huang Chengsheng arrived at the southern city gate. Hello, Senior Huang. Master, you are here. Xiaojiu, what precious treasure did you take that you dare not even come out of the city gate? Master, let's go back first. The monks came and went at the gate of Xianyuan City, which was not a good place to talk. So everyone flew towards the direction of Qingshan sect. Halfway, it seems that you really got something good. There are a few bugs following us. Xiaojiu, you guys come to deal with them, and I will help you to clear the formation. About half a quarter of an hour later, the figures of 8 monks really appeared in Yun Yongzhu's spiritual sense. After a while, the 8 people gathered towards Yun Yongzhu and others, and surrounded them in the middle. You should have guessed why we came here. If you know what's good for you, hand over all the storage bags in your hands, and I can spare your lives. At this time, an old man among the 8 people spoke. Yun Yongzhu guessed from the spiritual pressure around him, and his position among the group, that the old man should be a cultivator in the late stage of foundation building. Moreover, among the other 7 people, 4 were in the middle stage of foundation building. It was no wonder that he dared to bring them to kill people and rob treasures. If there were only Yun Yongzhu and the other 5, it would be really dangerous to face these 8 people. From the direction we are flying, it should not be difficult to guess that we are disciples of Qingshan sect, right? This place is so close to Qingshan sect, and you dare to block our way. Yun Yongzhu's words seemed to make the other party laugh, and the 8 people laughed. What are we afraid of? As long as we kill you all, who will know? Even if Qingshan sect knows, what does it matter? This world is so big, there is no place we can't go. After that, the other party stopped talking nonsense and suddenly attacked Yun Yongzhu and others. 3 of the cultivators in the middle stage of foundation building cooperated with the old man in the late stage of foundation building to attack Huang Chengsheng. The remaining female cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building faced Yun Yongzhu, the only cultivator of the same realm. Yun Yongzhu also fought back and forth with one of the middle-aged cultivators. While he used the lion step to dodge the opponent's magic attack, he cast a golden armor technique on himself. Then Yun Yongzhu did not use the fireball technique that he had cultivated to a great degree to attack, but took out the already refined red feather fan, input spiritual power into it, and fanned the opponent. Suddenly, a sea of fire appeared out of thin air, and all the flames rushed towards the middle-aged foundation building cultivator who was fighting against him. The man was unable to dodge, and was burned by the spiritual flame of the red feather fan. He screamed instantly. However, his scream did not attract the attention of his companions, because at the same time, the old man who was fighting with Huang Chengsheng suddenly screamed, "Are you a giant and cultivator?" Before others could react, he immediately took out a flying spiritual boat and wanted to escape. Seeing this, the other cultivators were also panicked, and they hurriedly took out their talismans or magic weapons. Want to escape? Don't even think about it. As a giant and cultivator, how could Huang Chengsheng let go of these people who had bad intentions towards his beloved disciple? Not to mention how Huang Chengsheng dealt with these people. The other 4 cultivators also made the same reaction, wanting to take advantage of the giant and Zenran to deal with the 4 people and slip away. Even Yun Yongzhu's opponent immediately took out the talisman to extinguish the spiritual flames of his red feather fan spiritual weapon, not wanting to entangle with Yun Yongzhu anymore. Chapter 187 Fighting 2. The middle-aged monk slapped a defensive talisman on himself, temporarily resisting the weakened spiritual flame attack. Then he grabbed a stack of talismans and slapped them all at Yun Yongzhu. Regardless of whether these talismans were effective, he quickly retreated and turned around, trying to escape. Yun Yongzhu certainly couldn't just watch the other party leave. He quickly slapped 2 first-level medium and high-quality earth wall talismans on his chest. Then, while using the lion step to dodge the talisman attack slapped by the other party, his palms flew up and down, pinching a complicated hand seal and hitting the man. Entanglement technique. I saw thick vines growing out of thin air under the monk's feet, instantly entangled his thighs. Although this entanglement technique is only a first level wood attack spell, with Yun Yongzhu's current cultivation, not only is the casting speed much faster, but even the vines generated by the spell are much tougher. Therefore, the cultivator could not break free from the vines for a while, and soon he was trapped by the dark vines. Dao, spare my life. I listened to that man's instigation, so I had evil thoughts. The middle-aged man felt the threat of death. His face was terrified, and he begged for mercy. Yun Yongzhu ignored his begging for mercy and decisively used the fire snake sword to pierce his heart. Then he immediately used the soul locking bag to collect the soul of the evil cultivator. Yun Yongzhu looked around. Master Huang Chengsheng was like a cat playing with a mouse. He was not in a hurry to kill the 4 evil cultivators. At this time, he was playing with them, making them unable to escape and die. Although Yun Dachan and his wife had just built their foundation for more than a month, they still had the upper hand against an evil cultivator. The 2 of them beat the other party back step by step, and they had no power to fight back. When Yun Yongzhu looked over, he happened to see that the man was stabbed in the danshan by his father Yun Dachan. "Dad, take his spirit away, I can use it." Turning around, it was Yun Yongzhu and Yun Yongzhu. Yun Yongzhu was facing a cultivator of the same level who was in the middle stage of foundation building. Although Yun Yongzhu had just broken through, he had rich experience in fighting, so the whole battle was one-sided, but the evil cultivator was still able to fight with Yun Yongzhu. The one fighting with Yun Yongzhu was a female cultivator. Because there was a giant and Zenran at the scene, the female cultivator was full of panic and her mind was full of thoughts of escaping. Dao, I was forced to do such a robbery. Please spare my life. I'm willing to offer my virgin essence. Yun Yongzhu was unmoved. Even though the other party was charming, Yun Yongzhu did not show any mercy. He took advantage of the opportunity when the female cultivator begged for mercy and slashed the other's neck with a sharp gold technique. At this moment, the cultivator who was fighting with Yun Yongzhu suddenly heard a person's name screaming. Jinga. It seems that this is the name of the beautiful female cultivator who was just killed by Yun Yongzhu. Seeing his hoarse voice and extremely sad appearance, the two must have a close relationship. Suddenly, Yun Yongzhu's face changed drastically, and he shouted to Yun Yongzhu, "Grandpa Jiu, be careful. He is going to self-destruct." It turned out that the man suddenly swelled up, as if he was going to explode. Yun Yongzhu's reaction was much faster than Yun Yongzhu. When the other part his body swelled up, he instantly sacrificed a palm-sized tortoise shell shield. The shield turned in front of him, and turned into a 2-meter circle round shield, covering him. Not only that, Yun Yongzhu also fled quickly to the distance, while sacrificing the round shield. Yun Yongzhu's heart was in his throat. He had experienced the scene of the demon beast self-destructing its inner elixir, and guessed that the power of the cultivator's self-destruction should not be weak. Grandpa Jiu was so close to the cultivator that he might be in danger of his life. Just when Yun Yongzhu's attention was focused on Yun Yongzhu, a golden light suddenly passed through the danchin of the monk who wanted to self-destruct. The man was like a deflated ball, and his whole body instantly shrank back to his original appearance. Seeing this, Yun Yongzhu quickly took out a long sword, and cut off the monk's head with one sword. "Jiu, don't worry. With your master here, if they can still hurt people, wouldn't it damage your reputation as a giant and Zenran?" Huang Changsheng instantly moved to Yun Yongzhu's side and handed him 4 balls of light. "These are the spirits of those 4 guys. They can be used to refine puppets or magic weapons, or to supplement your soul-devouring golden cicada named Zyajin, and see if it can be advanced to the 2nd level middle grade." Yun Yongzhu only reacted to the monk's self-destruction at this time, took the 4 balls of light handed to him by Huang Changsheng, and put them into the soul-locking bag. "Thank you, master. Fortunately, you are here." Yun Yongzhu hated his own powerlessness. Facing the enemy's act of dying together, he had no way to deal with it because of his insufficient cultivation. "Okay, there's no need to be polite. We are all family." At this time, Yun Yongzhu and others were still in shock and started to clean up. They burned the corpse of the evil cultivator and collected the other party's storage bag. Then they came to Yun Yongzhu and his disciples. "Thank you, Senior Huang, for saving my life. Thank you, Senior Huang, for helping my brother Jiu. Thank you, Senior Huang, for saving us elders." Yun Yongzhu was too close to the evil cultivator who wanted to self-destruct. If that person succeeded in self-destruction, the best result for him would be to survive by chance, but be seriously injured. No need to be polite. Since you are Jiu's elders, you are all family. Have you packed up? If you have packed up, let's go back to the sect. Everyone nodded, and Yun Yongzhu did the same. Afterwards, Yun Yongzhu and Yun Daichen gave the cultivators souls they had harvested to Yun Yongzhu. After so many years, they certainly knew that Yun Yongzhu had raised a soul-devouring golden cicada that could only advance by devouring the essence of monsters and could nourish Yun Yongzhu's soul. Then everyone continued to set off and headed for Qingshan sect. After that, they had a smooth journey and did not encounter any more blind robbers. After about 2 hours, the 6 people returned to the mountain gate of Qingshan sect. After entering the sect, before approaching Piomio Peak, Huang Changsheng took out a golden invitation and handed it to Yun Yongzhu. "Friend Yun, my wife will hold the golden elixir ceremony in a month. I hope you can all come to participate." Yun Yongzhu hurriedly took the invitation with both hands. "Thank you for the invitation, Senior Huang. Even if you didn't invite us, we would still be bold enough to participate." Senior Gu is Jiu's master's wife. Huang Changsheng personally presented the invitation. Yun Yongzhu and others were flattered and nodded repeatedly, saying that they would definitely participate in Guana's golden elixir ceremony. "That's great. Ninth Master, 25th Master, Father, and Mother, please go back to Loan Palace first. I will go to Piomio residence with Master to talk." Chapter 188, Offering Treasures. After the 2 groups separated, Huang Changsheng and his disciple came to the courtyard of Piomio residence. "Jiu, can you tell me what good things you bought in Xianyuan city now?" Yun Yongzhu took out 3 jade boxes mysteriously. "Master, this is the gift I prepared for my master's wife, to celebrate the giant on stage." Guess what's inside? Huang Changsheng suddenly realized that Yun Yongzhu went to Xianyuan City to buy gifts with treasures that can be used by giant and cultivators in their hands. It's no wonder that so many cultivators are chasing them and want to kill people for treasures. It's just gold attributed refining materials or alchemy materials for second and third level elixirs. Huang Changsheng could guess with his toes that no matter how rich this disciple was, he couldn't afford the treasures used by giant and cultivators. He could afford one or two of the precious pills taken by giant and cultivators, but he didn't necessarily meet them, even if he could afford them. Yun Yongzhu opened a jade box and saw a fist-sized golden jade fruit inside. 500 years old golden spirit fruit. Master, this is the 500 years old golden spirit fruit. I wonder if my master's wife can use it. Of course she can. 500 years old 5 element spirit fruit. Not only can low and middle level cultivators improve their cultivation by eating it directly, but it is also of great benefit to giant and cultivators. If it is refined into pills, it will be of great benefit to giant and cultivators. That's good. Yun Yongzhu opened the largest jade box again, and inside was an irregular fiery red crystal the size of a fire date. This is the earth fire rock crystal. Xiaojiu, you spent a lot of money. How can I not be careful about the gift for my master's wife's Jinden? Besides, I have never had anything good to give to my master's wife. You are filial, but you can't spend so much in the future. You have just established your foundation, and there are many places where you need spirit stones. Huang Changsheng was very happy. He was happier that Yun Yongzhu gave a gift to Guala than to himself. Well, master, I know what's going on. And this last gift, master's wife will definitely be able to use it. Seeing Yun Yongzhu's firm words, Huang Changsheng was very curious. Yun Yongzhu opened the last small jade box, and inside was a thumb-sized spiritual stone with flowing light. He had already divided the 5-element stone. If this thumb-sized 5-element stone is used carefully, it should be enough to refine 2 magic weapons. Is this a 5-element stone? Master, you have a good eye. This is a 5-element stone. Huang Changsheng looked at this colorful spiritual stone and was amazed. Xiaojiu, you got this from the auction at Xianyuan City, right? Only there can be a possibility of a 5-element stone. Yun Yongzhu nodded in agreement. Master, this Xianyuan City is so close to our sect. Why is it not under our sect's control? Yun Yongzhu had long been puzzled by this matter, and took the opportunity to ask Master, wanting to know the reason. Your current realm is still low. You will know it naturally after you have formed the elixir. Who would have thought that Huang Changsheng would send him off with such a simple sentence? Since the master had said so, Yun Yongzhu could not ask any more questions. Master, then I will leave these 3 items to you. Please pass them on to your master's wife. Well, don't worry, I will give them to your master's wife. Xiaojiu, you didn't buy anything for yourself at this auction? After bidding on the earth fire rock crystal and the 5-element stone, you probably don't have any spiritual stones left, right? Yun Yongzhu smiled and said, Master, didn't you specially prepare the top grade spiritual weapon red feather fan for your disciple, and also gave you the top grade spiritual weapon purple gold furnace that you used during the foundation building period? What do you think your disciple lacks? Huang Changsheng was also happy when he said this. Yes, his little disciple has all the spiritual weapons for attack, defense, and alchemy, so he really doesn't lack anything. But a Thunder Eagle egg appeared at this auction, and I bought it thinking that I could use it in the future. Chapter 189 Thunder Yuan Fruit. Thunder Eagles are very rare and difficult to obtain. I didn't expect you to encounter one this time. The flying speed of an adult Thunder Eagle is several points faster than the speed of a giant and cultivator. However, the growth rate of Thunder Eagles is too slow. You are lucky. I just happen to have a Thunder Fruit here. I will give it to you at a low price. Huang Changsheng originally wanted to use this precious Thunder Fruit to exchange for materials for refining Guana's life treasure in the sect treasury. Unexpectedly, Yun Yongzhu solved this matter within a month of leaving, and also took out such a precious treasure as the 5-element stone. Thunder Fruit. Master, this is too precious. The Thunder Fruit itself is a 3rd grade high-grade spiritual fruit produced by the 4th grade high-grade spiritual wood Cheyenne wood. It is very rare. After giant and cultivators take the thunder fruit, they can not only temper their bodies, but also purify their spiritual power and enhance their own foundation. This thunder fruit contains rich heavenly thunder power and refined spiritual power. After taking it, thunder spirit root cultivators can improve their spiritual power and improve their cultivation level. After taking the thunder attribute spiritual beast, it can enhance its innate ability and shorten the time of its upgrade. Not only that, this thunder Yun fruit also has the effect of building the foundation. However, the process of building the foundation for Kigan cultivators to take the thunder Yun fruit is very painful, and there is even the danger of being seriously injured to death by the power of the thunder in the thunder Yun fruit. Therefore, Huang Changsheng did not use the thunder Yun fruit for Yun Yongzhu to build the foundation. No matter how valuable the thunder Yun fruit is, it will eventually be used. No one in our Piomio peak has a thunder spirit root. Originally, I wanted to use it to exchange materials from the sect treasury. Since you have prepared the earth fire rock crystal for your master's wife, give this thunder Yun fruit to your thunder eagle to take. At least it can let it upgrade to the second level earlier. Hearing what Huang Changsheng said, Yun Yongzhu accepted the thunder Yun fruit. Then thank you, master. Yun Yongzhu then put away the precious spiritual fruit, and then heard the master ask, Xiaojiu, a month has passed, have you ignited the true fire? How are your understanding of the gathering spirit pill and the wood flame pill? Yun Yongzhu smiled, and turned his palm, and a wisp of light green spiritual flame appeared out of thin air in his palm. Master, look, this is the true fire I ignited. Not bad, not bad. It looks a bit like the strange fire of the heart of wood. Have you used it to refine pills? This true fire of the burning wood art should be very suitable for refining pills. Yun Yongzhu nodded, indicating that it is very good to use this true fire to refine pills. My disciple can now use this true fire to refine the key gathering pill and has a stable pill success rate of 50%. One furnace will produce 8 pills, and with my current alchemy skills, nearly half of the pills are of top quality. During this period, my disciple also refined the spirit gathering pill, but it took 9 attempts to open the furnace before 2 were successful, and the pill success rate was also very low, less than 20%. I haven't opened the furnace yet for the wood flame pill, so I don't have much experience with it. Huang Changsheng couldn't stop smiling after hearing this. Xiaojiu, you don't have to worry too much about the success rate of the soul gathering pill. The more you practice, the success rate of the pill will naturally increase. But I didn't expect that you would be able to refine a second level key gathering pill in just 1 month. My vision is really good. Xiaojiu, your talent for alchemy is really extraordinary. By the way, how is your cultivation of the 9-turn alchemy art now? Can you refine a 3rd turn pill? Yun Yongzhu's cultivation has just made a breakthrough, and he was able to refine a 2nd level soul gathering pill so quickly, which surprised Huang Changsheng. Although Yun Yongzhu successfully refined 2 furnaces of 2nd level broken limb regeneration pills in the alchemy competition a few years ago, he only opened the furnace twice in total. If he has the opportunity to open the furnace again now, he may not succeed. The data of the soul gathering pill can better reflect the level of Yun Yongzhu's current alchemy skills. In Huang Changsheng's opinion, his disciple has already stepped into the threshold of a 2nd level alchemist. He only needs to wait for Yun Yongzhu's success rate in refining the soul gathering pill to improve and stabilize, and then he can go to exchange the alchemist token. Master, after the cultivation level has been improved, the disciple's use of the 9-turn alchemy art has indeed changed. The disciple can now refine a 3rd turn pill. That's why nearly half of the pills that the disciple refines are of top grade quality, and the first soul gathering pill that the disciple successfully refined also has a medium grade pill. Thinking of the success rate and quality of his disciple's pills, Huang Changsheng couldn't help but be overjoyed and praised his disciple. For ordinary alchemists, even 2nd level alchemists, when refining 1st level pills, even if the success rate reaches 60% or 70%, the quality of the pills may not be as high as Yun Yongzhu. Even though Yun Yongzhu was a bit thick-skinned, he felt a little embarrassed by the continuous praise from the master. The reason why he has such a high success rate and high quality of pills is actually closely related to the set of 9-turn alchemy art. Of course, his inner fire also played an indispensable role. Now that Yun Yongzhu thinks about it, he is more certain about his decision to give up the strange wood heart fire and choose this set of alchemy. In order to prevent his master from continuing to praise him, and in order to let his master teach him the art of alchemy, Yun Yongzhu took out the soul gathering pill that he had made with great difficulty. Master, this is the soul gathering pill that I made a few days ago. Please taste it. Huang Changsheng poured out the pills, carefully examined them one by one, nodded his head, and looked satisfied. Not bad, not bad. Then he took out one of the pills separately, and the master and disciple discussed the quality of the pill. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 190 Golden Elixir Ceremony 1. As he was talking, Yun Yongzhu unconsciously mentioned the newly acquired second level pill recipe, Wood Flame Pill. Master, how come I have never heard of this Wood Flame Pill? What you said is true. I have been in the alchemy world for so many years, and I have seen many pills. I have never heard of this Wood Flame Pill before. I found this pill recipe in the recipe collection of the alchemy hall according to your cultivation method burning wood art. If you take pills for cultivation in the future, it is best to take this Wood Flame Pill. Wood Flame Pill contains rich wood and fire dual attribute spiritual power, which is more suitable for your cultivation method than gathering spirit pill. It was just as Yun Yongzhu thought. This Wood Flame Pill was really related to the cultivation method he practiced. In fact, high-grade cultivation methods even include matching magic formulas, body techniques, and pill formulas to assist cultivation. Thank you, Master, for taking the trouble to find a spiritual pill for me to cultivate. Thanks to Master for helping him find the right spiritual pill. Yun Yongzhu would not have thought of this. When the time comes, he will directly take the Wood Flame Pill to cultivate, which will definitely be easier. At least it should be easier than taking the Gathering Spirit Pill, because the Wood Flame Pill is more in line with his practice, the art of burning wood. Just practice well. No need to thank me. Is there anything you don't understand after you comprehend this Wood Flame Pill? Huang Changsheng is at least a third level upper grade alchemist. Even if he has never refined a second level Wood Flame Pill, he is more than enough to guide Yun Yongzhu. Master, because the Wood Flame Pill is a dual attribute spiritual pill, special attention should be paid to the blending of the medicine liquid when refining it. It seems that you have a good understanding of this Wood Flame Pill. In this case, you can start the furnace and try to refine it after you collect all the spiritual medicine materials. The Wood Flame Pill is the same as the Gathering Spirit Pill, which is a second level spiritual pill. Because the dueling pill is suitable for all foundation building cultivators to take, even if not all alchemists know its recipe, most alchemists know several important ones. Therefore, many forces cultivate it, so the materials for refining the dueling pill are relatively easy to buy. The Muan pill is different, because it has a smaller audience, so its materials are not easy to collect, which is one of the reasons why Yun Yongzhu did not try to refine it. By the way, your master's wife's golden elixir ceremony will be held in a month. Although the arrangements are handed over to the sect, many affiliated forces and families of the sect will come to congratulate, and you and Lionel will be responsible for the reception. I have given the list of more important monks who come to congratulate to your senior brother. Remember to go to Janger to see and discuss with them how to receive the guests. Yes, Master, don't worry. Also, your master's wife's golden elixir is a great joyous event. If you have any fellow disciples or confidants who are on good terms with you, you can also send a message to invite them to Piomio Peak to celebrate together. 1 month later. Yunte Peak. Senior brother song, let's go. Today is the day of the golden elixir ceremony of Master Uncle Yun's master's wife, Master Uncle Gu. Well, Piomio Peak should be very lively today. The speakers were Wang Xiner and Song Jiayang, who entered Qingshan sect with Yun Yongzhu. Thanks to Yun Yongzhu, both of them have now reached the great perfection of key training. The two rode on a first-class spiritual crane and flew quickly to Piomio Peak. Along the way, they saw many foundation building masters from the sect flying in the same direction, all to celebrate Master Gu's formation of the elixir. The two thought they had arrived early, but when they reached the sky above Pilomio Peak, they found that the hall below was already full of people. As soon as the two stopped at the square of Pilomio Peak, they were shocked by the rows of fellow disciples standing on both sides of the square. At a glance, there were 400 or 500 fellow disciples who had perfected their key training, and they were only about 30 or 40 years old. At this time, the square was filled with neatly arranged tables and chairs, on which were placed various spiritual fruits and spiritual wines. At this time, a large number of cultivators had gathered in the square, and nearly half of them were cultivators with foundation building cultivation. Judging from their clothes, they all seemed to have come from outside Kingshan sect. When the two were at a loss, Yun Yongzhu found them. At this time, he and his brothers and sisters were busy shuttling in and out of the hall to receive guests. "Big brother, my friend is here. I'll go and greet him." "Okay, go ahead." "Junior sister Wang, junior brother Song, you're here." "Uncle Master Yun, I told you not to call me Uncle Master. You can just call me by my name. Etiquette should never be abolished." "Forget it. I won't waste my time with you. Follow me." Yun Yongzhu led the two of them through the wide square and into the main hall. The tables and chairs in the main hall were obviously different from those in the square, and they were more impressive. Wang Xiner and the others found that, although there were not many cultivators in the main hall, the lowest level of their cultivation was foundation building. Anyway, in their opinion, everyone's cultivation level looked unfathomable. The two of them followed Yun Yongzhu tremblingly, feeling very uncomfortable. Yun Yongzhu arranged a table for them near the main door in the main hall. Then he said to the two cultivators beside him, "Brother Heo, nephew Lao, these are my two friends in the inner sect, named Wang Xiner and Song Jiang. Their cultivation is relatively low. Please help take care of them, Brother Heo, Xiner, Jiang. These two are Brother Heo Zhao and nephew Lao Qian Qian, that I mentioned to you. You should get to know them." After Yun Yongzhu briefly introduced the four people to each other, he couldn't wait to go out to greet the guests. He not only invited these four people, but also invited some fellow disciples who often exchanged alchemy experiences, as well as some direct disciples and inner sect disciples who were close to him on weekdays. These could not be neglected too much, at least they had to take the time to say hello. Speaking of which, he was a little busy today. Before the hour of Mao, he came to the square of the main hall on the top of the peak to receive guests. He didn't even have time to drink a sip of water until he arranged for Wang Xiner and the other person to sit down. "Junior brother, the guests who will come next are all important ones. They will present gifts later. You will be responsible for singing the gifts they present. Understand?" "Understood. Please rest assured, senior brother. I have prepared the amplifying stone instrument a long time ago. I know how to do it." "Okay, then leave it to you, and the second junior brother and the third junior sister. I will go and invite the master and his wife to the main hall." One stick of incense after the senior brother Zhaoyang left, a heavyweight foundation building cultivator came up the mountain to congratulate. Hanlin was responsible for receiving the other party's invitation, and Yun Yongzhu was responsible for receiving the gifts from the other party. The two brothers cooperated very well. The Yan'an family, a Wazhao immortal cultivation family, presents a gift of a 500-year-old purple ginseng to congratulate Master Gu of the Kingshan sect on his great success in the golden elixir. Yun Yongzhu's voice spread throughout the entire Pilomio Peak through the amplifying stone instrument. After Yun Yongzhu finished speaking, Imolana led the Yan'an family into the main hall and arranged seats. The three of them worked together in a hurry for several times, and the eldest brother Zhaoyang returned to the outside of the square to continue helping. With Zhaoyang's joining, the four of them barely made arrangements for the arriving family forces and sect forces. Ling Jianmen congratulates Kingshan sect Master Gu on condensing the golden elixir, and specially presents a top-grade spiritual sword. The Nangang family, a Pizhao immortal cultivation family, congratulates Kingshan sect Master Gu on the great success of the golden elixir, and specially presents a top-grade flying talisman. Juking Valley congratulates Kingshan sect Master Gu on the great success of the golden elixir, and specially presents a Juking pill. The Gu family, is our immortal cultivation family, presents a pregnancy fruit, and congratulates King Shan sect Master Gu on the golden elixir. The Yun family, Yun's our immortal cultivation family, presents a piece of meteorite iron, and congratulates King Shan sect Master Gu on the great success of the golden elixir. The hall was almost full of cultivators from all walks of life, and as for the square outside the hall, it was already full of people, and even chairs were placed outside the square. Thank the Lord God for the reward. Chapter 191 Golden Elixir Ceremony 2. Yun Yongzhu looked at the sky, then at the storage bag in his hand, and said to Zhao Yang, "Big brother, it's almost time. Almost everyone who should come has entered the hall, and the spiritual food will be ready soon. Let's go in." "Okay, let's go." The four of them entered the hall, and found that everyone inside was talking happily. Huang Changsheng and his wife were sitting on the upper right side of the hall, chatting with several giant and cultivators above the hall. Everyone was smiling. Among the 8 giant and real people, only 3 were not cultivators of King Shan sect, but they were all powerful elders of subordinate forces of King Shan sect. Yun Yongzhu entered the hall, looked at Song Jiang and the other 4 who were sitting near the door, and nodded slightly. Then he continued to walk inside with his brothers and sisters, and stood in the center of the front of the hall to salute. Greetings to the headmaster. Greetings to the master and mistress. As the saying goes, disciples should serve when there is something to do. Senior brother Huang, you have accepted these 4 disciples for a good reason. Haha, yes, they are quite capable. Guana waved her hand and asked them to go up. Yun Yongzhu stood obediently beside the mistress and looked curiously at the headmaster of the King Shan sect, King Shan Zhenren, who was sitting in the center of the upper seat. This was the first time he had seen the headmaster since he entered the sect. After the 4 of them stood, King Shan Zhenren stood up and said to all the cultivators in the hall, "The auspicious time has arrived, and the ceremony begins." His voice spread throughout the Piomio Peak Hall, and all the cultivators participating in the hall fell silent. Then a distant bell sounded from outside the hall, cleansing the hearts of all the cultivators. Then a foundation building cultivator of the sect took out a booklet, stood in the center of the hall entrance, and began to read the major events of Guana's life in public. Guana established her foundation at the age of 47 and became a Taoist partner with Huang Changsheng, a giant and Zhenren, at the age of 50. She reached the state of great perfection in foundation building at the age of 150, and then after more than 10 years of preparation for the formation of the elixir, she finally successfully stepped into the path of the golden elixir at the age of 163. After hearing this brief life story, everyone could not help but envy and sigh, especially the many foundation building cultivators present. Soon, the cultivator finished reciting all the great achievements of Guana over the past 160 years. All the cultivators who participated in the ceremony were extremely envious of this, as she had achieved great success in the golden elixir in just over 160 years. Everyone, today is the golden elixir ceremony of Guana from King Shan sect. Here, on behalf of all of us in King Shan sect, I would like to congratulate junior sister Gu, congratulate her on her great success in the golden elixir, and wish junior sister Gu to go further and further on the path. Although the head of the sect, the Taoist master King Shan, did not use a loudspeaker, his words penetrated the hall and resounded throughout the entire Piomio Peak. As soon as he finished speaking, he raised the wine glass in front of him, saluted Guana and her husband from a distance, and drank the whole glass of wine. Congratulations to junior sister Gu on her success in the golden elixir. Congratulations to fellow Daoist Gu on becoming one of our generation. Congratulations to Master Gu on entering the golden elixir Great Dao. All the cultivators in the hall expressed their congratulations. Thank you fellow disciples and fellow Daoists for coming to congratulate. At this moment, a deafening voice of congratulations came from outside the hall. Congratulations to Master Gu on his success in the golden elixir. A long way to go. Yun Yongzhu followed his master and his wife to the entrance of the hall. The cultivators outside the hall saw that the protagonist of this grand ceremony had come out, and they couldn't help but say words of congratulations even more vigorously. Guana waved her hand with a smile on her face to stop them. Thank you all for coming from afar to King Shan sect to attend my golden elixir ceremony. I hope everyone can get a glimpse of the Golden Elixir Avenue and live forever. I also hope that our Qingshan sect can last for thousands of years. Guana raised the wine glass in her hand, saluted all the cultivators in the square in the hall, and drank it all up generously. This move instantly ignited the atmosphere of the ceremony, and all the cultivators were excited, as if this golden elixir ceremony was held for them. Then Guana and her husband went to toast at each table, to thank the golden elixir cultivators and a few immortal cultivation families who came to attend the ceremony. The hall and square of Piomio Peak are only this big, and can barely accommodate tens of thousands of people. Those who can receive the invitation are all the best of Qingshan sect, and the outside cultivators are also the families and sects with the most powerful forces under Qingshan sect. Yun Yongzhu's family was not even in the queue, but because of Yun Yongzhu's relationship, they entered the hall, and were arranged in the front position. Fellow Daoist Yun, thank you for coming to my golden elixir ceremony. I hope you can also condense the golden elixir as soon as possible. Also, the meteorite iron you sent is very suitable for me. I'm sorry for the expense. Master Gu, congratulations on your golden elixir again. As Xiaojiu's master's wife, you usually take care of him. We often hear Xiaojiu mention it. In addition to congratulating you on your golden elixir, this piece of meteorite iron is also a thank you for your care for Xiaojiu. Although there are many cultivators and forces coming to participate in the ceremony, the most precious and eye-catching gift is the meteorite iron from the Yun family of Yunwu Mountain. Just now, several foundation building families came forward in the hall to inquire about the origins of their families. Now that they heard that it was the family of the direct disciple of Master Huang, they suddenly realized it. Taking care of Xiaojiu is what I, the master's wife, should do. Thank you very much anyway. Although this meteorite iron is valuable, Guana mainly values the intention of the gift giver. After Guana walked to the next table, Yun Zuxuan and the other four sighed again and again. Master Gu has achieved the golden elixir at such a young age. It's really a cause for celebration. Yes, we don't have to think about it. I don't know how long it will take for Xiaojiu to have the opportunity to hold such a grand golden elixir ceremony. This Qingshan sect is indeed a big sect. All the spiritual meals prepared for the golden elixir ceremony are actually second level spiritual meals. Not long after, the couple thanked all the important guests. They took the four disciples back to the long table on the right and sat down. Janja, Alan, Lana, Xiaojiu, you should also sit down and eat. You have worked hard today. Guana pulled Demo Lana to sit on the other side of her and asked the four direct disciples of her Taoist partner to sit down. Yun Yongzhu took the opportunity to hand the storage bag in his hand to Guana. Master's wife, these are all the gifts we received today. I just read out a small part of them. There are also many gifts from the monks outside the main hall. I have written down the names of all the gift givers on jade slips. Well, you did a good job. With this record, it will be easier to return the gifts in the future. This sumptuous grand banquet took nearly 2 hours to finish. Fellow Daoist Gu, goodbye. Master Gu, goodbye. Junior Sister Gu, according to the rules, after this banquet is over, you have to go to the ancestral hall to pay respects to the ancestor. I hope you can go there early. Well, I know, Master Brother. Chapter 192 Preparations for leaving the sect. After the head of Qingshan explained to Guana and his wife what to do after the banquet, he left. After that, many family monks and sect monks bid farewell to Huang Chengsheng and his wife. Some of Yun Yongzhu's friends and Wang Xiner and the other four also came to say goodbye to Yun Yongzhu. From beginning to end, none of them had a chance to talk to Huang Chengsheng and his wife. In fact, for some of them, it was a great honor to be able to attend the banquet of the Jinden Zenren, and they also took the opportunity to make some connections. For Wang Xiner and the others, they were even more satisfied to be arranged to enter the hall to attend the ceremony and see so many core figures of the sect up close. After all, there were hundreds of people in the whole hall, and only a few dozen people were in the key training stage. And not only them, but also many foundation building monks in the hall did not talk to Huang Chengsheng and his friends. But even so, everyone looked very proud. After all, not everyone has the opportunity to participate in this grand ceremony, enter this hall, meet so many Jinden Zenren, and witness the scene of this Jinden ceremony. It is estimated that the fact that they attended the Golden Elixir ceremony and had a meal in the same hall with the Golden Elixir Master would be enough for them to brag about for a long time, and they could even brag about it to their juniors when they are old. After the celebration banquet, there was nothing for Yun Yongzhu and his 4 brothers to do, and Huang Changsheng sent them back to their own caves. After the Golden Elixir ceremony, Yun Yongzhu planned to return to Yunzhou with his father, mother and the other 4. But now was not the best time to mention this to his master. He knew that after the banquet, his master and the others still had some things to do. Yun Yongzhu returned to Loyan Hall with Yun Zuxuan and others. 25th Grandpa, 9th Grandpa, shall we return to Yunwu Mountain in 2 days? Well, we have waited for a month, so what's left? Wait until you are ready, then we can set off. Thank you, 25th Grandpa. What's there to thank me for? Hurry up and make the necessary preparations. You have to stay for a while when you go back, so as not to leave anything behind. The reason why Yun Yongzhu delayed for 2 days was, of course, because he had not yet reported to his master and his mistress, and he really needed to think about what he should bring. Well, then, grandson will take his leave. After Yun Yongzhu separated from the elders, he returned to his bedroom. He fumbled around the bedside for a while, pressed a switch, and opened an entrance on the ground. This was an underground secret room that Yun Yongzhu dug out by himself. He used it to store some relatively precious jade slips and treasures. It could also be said to be a treasure room. However, his treasure room was not as big as his master Huang Changsheng's library. It was only 6 feet in diameter, about 12 square meters. Yun Yongzhu could only walk a few steps down. The inner wall of this small treasure room was covered with a thin layer of stone slabs. This stone slab was the absolute spiritual stone that could isolate the spiritual consciousness of the cultivators. Although the absolute spiritual stone was only one word different from the absolute spiritual wood, their values were as different as heaven and earth. Absolute spiritual wood was usually a spiritual material used by low-level cultivators who could not afford storage bags to build storage boxes or lockers and other large space storage tools. This storage tool made of absolute spirit wood is used to store spiritual objects, which can slow down the speed of the spiritual energy dissipation of spiritual objects. Absolute spirit stone is usually a building material used by high-level monks to build secret rooms, which can prevent the secret rooms from being easily discovered by high-level monks. It is precisely because the absolute spirit stone can isolate the spiritual consciousness of monks that the absolute spirit stone is very valuable and can only be purchased with sect points. Because Yun Yongzhu does not have many treasures now, he is only willing to buy such a few absolute spirit stone slabs to build a small treasure room. Of course, at that time he was still preparing for his foundation building, and he did not have the time and energy to arrange a treasure room. He planned to expand it slowly, and bit by bit, when the treasures to be collected increased in the future. Anyway, it was not a formation restriction, and it was very simple to expand. Yun Yongzhu walked down more than 20 steps before he came to the bottom. What caught his eye was a shelf made of Qingyang wood. The shelf was simply divided into 2 layers. The upper layer contains the key training chapter and foundation building chapter of burning wood art and the spirit tempering art that his master found for him, as well as the key training chapter of intake art and the key training chapter and foundation building chapter of 5-element basic spirit art obtained from casual cultivators. The precious 9-turn alchemy art is also here. In addition, there are all some jade slips and spiritual medicine books that record spells and art, such as bloodline tracking art and 100 herbs illustrations. Some of these spells and books were obtained in the sect, some were obtained in Yunwu Mountain, and some were obtained from casual cultivators during training outside. The lower layer of the shelf is full of various jade slips of alchemy recipes, and there are nearly 20 of them. Although there are not many things on this shelf, they are actually very valuable. With these as a foundation, it is enough to create a foundation building family, or even a golden elixir family. Yun Yongzhu has memorized the contents of all the jade slips in his mind. For safety reasons, he put all these jade slips and books in this treasure room. This is also the consistent practice of all cultivators in the world of immortal cultivation. Once an accident happens to them, they will not let these important skills, classics, and secrets be lost or leaked. This is also the main reason why Yun Yongzhu has only obtained 2 skills and some spells and magics outside for so many years. Yun Yongzhu took out a small jade box and placed it on the upper layer of the wooden shelf, then turned and left. Suddenly he stopped again, thought about it, turned around and opened the jade box, which contained a piece of 5-element stone with 1/3 cut off. Yun Yongzhu took out a jade dagger and split the 5-element stone into 2. He put the slightly larger piece of 5-element stone back into his storage bag, then returned to the bedroom and closed the entrance to the treasure room. Yun Yongzhu took out the supplies in his storage bag and calculated that there were more than 36,000 spiritual stone deposits left, so there was no need to make any more preparations in this regard. With these spiritual stones, even if he did not refine pills, it would be enough for him to practice for at least 10 years. He had no shortage of talismans and magic tools, but he had to buy some materials for refining pills from the sect, because he was not sure how much he could buy in Yunzhou, especially the spiritual medicine for refining 2nd level pills. He also had to find out the specific value of the gathering spirit pill and some of the pills he could use now in the sect in the next 2 days, so that he could have a reference if he wanted to sell or buy them in the future. Speaking of which, because Yun Yongzhu's 8 foundation building pills were all rewards obtained by handing in the Zuanshan secret realm, he did not spend any of his sect points. Thinking of the more than 10,400 sect points in his identity card, Yun Yongzhu felt confident. Not to mention exchanging for other precious materials, just exchanging for spiritual stones alone could get at least 30,000 spiritual stones. But Yun Yongzhu would not do such a stupid thing. Spiritual stones are easy to get, but points are hard to get. There is no guarantee that he will need a large number of sect points at any time. These points were accumulated by him for nearly 20 years of hard work. After counting his savings, Yun Yongzhu ran to the nearest market and spent 4,056 spirit stones to buy 10 sets of materials for the refining of the soul gathering pill. This soul gathering pill is a 2nd level pill, and it takes about 400 spirit stones to collect all the materials. Although the cost of refining this pill is relatively high, it is relatively easy to collect, and he does not need to go to the sect treasury to exchange points. Lord, I'm sorry, I only coded this much today. I will work hard to code more. Thank you for your award. Chapter 193 Refining the Soul Gathering Pill. After Yun Yongzhu purchased the ingredients for the elixir, he returned to the Loan Hall and entered the alchemy room. He took out all the 233 kinds of spiritual medicine materials for refining the Jilling pill and placed them on the alchemy stone table. Then he took out his tools and began to process these spiritual medicines one by one. First, the main medicine was Juling grass, and then the auxiliary medicines were Lingleaf thistle, Jiling grass, Tunganaderma, and Huangjing. This was Yun Yongzhu's 10th time refining Jiling pill. Although he had failed 7 times before, everything was done in an easy and orderly manner after the furnace was opened. However, because there were too many ingredients for Jiling pill, it took nearly half an hour for him to prepare all the spiritual medicines. Yun Yongzhu placed all the processed spiritual medicines in the order in which they were put into the alchemy furnace. Then he placed his palm on his abdomen, flipped his hand, and took out the purple gold furnace that he had just refined from his danshan. This alchemy furnace was the one used by Huang Chengsheng during his foundation building period. Its grade was not low, reaching the 2nd grade upper grade. Although the purple gold furnace does not have the added effect of the medicine cauldron on the success rate of the pill, the 2nd level fire yang array embedded in the purple gold furnace can save nearly half of the alchemist's spiritual power and shorten the refining time by 1/3. The last time Yun Yongzhu refined the Jiling pill in Xianyuan City, he used his own medicine cauldron, the 9-dragon cauldron. Because the 9-dragon cauldron is only a 1st level upper grade magic weapon, it cannot be stored in the danshan for nourishment. Moreover, although the 9-dragon cauldron can be used to refine 2nd level pills, the success rate of the pill is not high. Yun Yongzhu used his spiritual sense to suspend the purple gold furnace, and it instantly changed from a palm-sized miniature cauldron to a small alchemy furnace with an inner diameter of 6 inches and a height of 8 inches. Yun Yongzhu placed the alchemy furnace at the outlet of the ground fire. According to his habit of refining pills, he put a few small water balls into it and cleaned it carefully. Then he put his true fire into the purple gold furnace and began the first step of refining pills, preheating the alchemy furnace. After the purple gold furnace was heated, Yun Yongzhu followed the recipe of the gelling pill and began to put the first part of the spiritual medicine into it. Then he concentrated on using his true fire to melt the spiritual medicine materials into spiritual medicine juice. Unlike the previous alchemy, Yun Yongzhu did not inject spiritual rainwater or spiritual spring water into the alchemy furnace before putting in the spiritual medicine materials. This is because Yun Yongzhu is now using his true fire to make pills. There are many reasons why alchemists inject clean water or spiritual water into the alchemy furnace before refining pills. First, it is to prevent low-level spiritual medicine materials from being instantly vaporized or burned by the high temperature in the alchemy furnace. Second, it is to use this water as a smelting medium to precipitate all the medicinal properties of the spiritual medicine. Third, it is to facilitate the alchemist to quench the liquid of the spiritual medicine, remove the impurities in it as much as possible, and retain the essence in it as much as possible. Fourth, it is to better integrate the medicinal properties of the liquid medicine, condense it into a pill, and increase the success rate of the pill. Fifth, it is because, when refining pills with true fire, you don't have to consider so much. Using the true fire to warm the furnace will not make the temperature in the alchemy furnace too high. Moreover, during the smelting process, Yun Yongzhu can adjust the size of the true fire at any time according to the heat resistance of the spiritual medicine, and finally control the temperature in the alchemy furnace. However, because the melting point of each spiritual medicine is different, Yun Yongzhu can only use his spiritual consciousness to separate the spiritual medicines. He controlled the spiritual medicine to float above the true fire in the alchemy furnace, and then used his mind to control his true fire to calcine and smelt each spiritual medicine material. After a while, the spiritual medicine began to melt slowly under the calcination of the true fire. Then Yun Yongzhu conveniently put the next materials on the stone platform next to him into the alchemy furnace one by one. When the second batch of spiritual medicines was put in, the spiritual medicines put in before had already melted into liquid medicine under the calcination of the true fire. Only then would Yun Yongzhu withdraw the spiritual consciousness barrier between the spiritual medicines to mix the liquid medicines. Yun Yongzhu placed the true fire between the two batches of spiritual medicines. In the purple gold furnace, dozens of red or green spiritual medicines were burning above a light green spiritual flame, and at the bottom of the furnace was purple black spiritual medicine juice that had turned into liquid medicine. This step actually tests the alchemist's control of the fire, and of course, it is also a test of the alchemist's spiritual strength. The temperature of the inner wall of the alchemy furnace must be close to the temperature of the true fire. Otherwise the first batch of smelted liquid medicine will become wastewater, and there will even be a risk of the furnace exploding. This is also one of the reasons why the alchemy furnace must be preheated before refining all the elixirs, and when melting the spiritual medicine and quenching the liquid medicine, you must always pay attention to maintaining the temperature of the furnace wall of the alchemy furnace. Under the calcination of the true fire, the second batch of spiritual medicines also slowly melted into liquid and ripped into the liquid medicine at the bottom of the purple gold furnace. In this way, Yun Yongzhu threw the elixir materials into the alchemy furnace in batches and then calcinated them with true fire to melt them into liquid medicine. It was not until an hour and a half later that he had melted all the spiritual medicine materials and turned them into liquid medicine. Don't underestimate the process of calcining spiritual medicine. In fact, this is the most difficult step in refining elixirs. You know, each spiritual medicine has its own effect and medicinal properties. Although some spiritual medicines have similar effects, their medicinal properties are completely different. Although some spiritual medicines have similar medicinal properties, their effects are completely different. The first one or two batches of spiritual medicines were fine. They were all spiritual medicines with similar medicinal effects and medicinal properties. It didn't take much attention when the melted liquid medicines of the two were blended. But the later the spiritual medicines, the greater the difference in medicinal properties, and the more careful you have to be when blending the melted liquid medicine with the previous liquid medicine. Even if you have the elixir recipe, it doesn't mean that you can casually blend all the spiritual medicine liquid medicines together. Moreover, the order of the spiritual medicines is also crucial. A little bit of it will reduce the success rate of elixir refining. In the process of smelting the spiritual medicine materials, Yun Yongzhu made good use of several spiritual medicines and the recipe for harmonizing the medicinal properties, and successfully smelted all 233 spiritual medicine materials into liquid medicine. After more than 200 spiritual medicine materials were smelted, the small purple gold furnace was not filled up, and it was impossible to fill it up. Although there are 2 steps in the process of refining the elixir, namely smelting the spiritual medicine and quenching the spiritual medicine. In fact, half of the impurities have been quenched out when the spiritual medicine is smelted. In a spiritual medicine, its essence is often only 1% or even 1,000th of the entire plant. After quenching the impurities in the liquid medicine, the less liquid medicine is left, the higher the degree of quenching, and the better the quality of the elixir. Therefore, even if there are tens of thousands of spiritual medicine ingredients, the smelted liquid medicine cannot fill up the alchemy furnace. After all the spiritual medicines were smelted, Yun Yongzhu used the 9 turns quenching art unique to the 9 turns alchemy art to quench all the liquid medicine again. When he had used up 70% of his spiritual power, he could no longer find any impurities in the liquid medicine. Yun Yongzhu then increased the firepower to dry out the excess water in the liquid medicine, and then used the 9-turn pill melting art to hit it into the purple gold furnace. Under the effect of the pill melting art, the liquid medicine in the furnace became more viscous, and the fragrance of the medicine drifted out through the small holes on the furnace cover. When the liquid medicine was about to materialize, Yun Yongzhu adjusted the flame to the minimum, and used the 9-turn pill condensation art at the right time. However, just as the pill was formed, a 9-turn pill crushing art was hit into the purple gold furnace again, turning the pill that had just been formed into powder again. At this time, Yun Yongzhu more carefully melted the powder in the purple gold furnace into liquid medicine again, and then slowly performed the pill melting art again. Chapter 194, Cultivation Enlightenment. Just 3 breaths after the 9-turn pill melting technique was injected into the purple gold furnace, Yun Yongzhu keenly felt the timing of pill condensation. He instantly reduced the true fire to the size of a mung bean, and kept the temperature unchanged. Then he quickly injected the 9-turn pill condensation technique that had been prepared long ago into the purple gold furnace. Whether the alchemist can successfully refine a furnace of pills has a lot to do with the number of times the alchemist refines. If the pill is refined frequently, the chance of success is high, and the success rate will gradually increase. The success rate of the pill is also closely related to the strength of the alchemist's own cultivation, the level of alchemy, the ability to control the temperature, the grade of the pill, etc. And pill condensation is the last step in the alchemy process, so it is also very important. All alchemists need the pill condensation technique to assist in pill condensation, and this technique is indispensable. However, most alchemists only know the simplest and most basic pill condensation technique. The 9-turn pill condensation art is a matching pill condensing art in the 9-turn pill refining art, which plays a significant role in successfully condensing pills. Yun Yongzhu's spiritual consciousness has been paying attention to the changes in the medicinal liquid in the pill furnace. Under the effect of the 9-turn pill condensation art, the medicinal liquid instantly rotated at a high speed, gradually divided into 2 small balls, and then formed 2 pills. Seeing that the pill in the purple gold furnace was about to take shape, Yun Yongzhu immediately pinched the 9-turn pill collection art in his hand, and hit it in the pill furnace. After a while, the purple gold furnace automatically opened the furnace cover, and 2 pills rotated out from it, and entered the empty jade bottle that Yun Yongzhu took out. It took only a breath for the pill to enter the jade bottle, and Yun Yongzhu pulled open the bottle stopper, and saw 2 pills lying quietly inside, and he couldn't help but feel relieved. In fact, since he had the assistance of the 9-turn pill collection art, he had never encountered a situation where the pills disappeared in the air when he opened the furnace to collect pills. Yun Yongzhu poured out 2 soul-gathering pills, observed and smelled them carefully, and confirmed that the quality of the pills was medium and low grade respectively, and he couldn't help but feel relieved. Looking at the find and pattern on the surface of the 2 pills, Yun Yongzhu wondered how he could brand his unique auspicious cloud pattern on the surface of the pills without affecting the success rate of the pill. Although Yun Yongzhu is now able to refine third level pills, it is limited to first level pills, among which the key gathering pill is the most outstanding. Most of the key gathering pills he refined in Xianyuan City before were second level pills, and a small number were third level pills. Therefore, the quality of the pills was excellent. As for the soul gathering pill, Yun Yongzhu has just started to work with it for a short time and has not opened the furnace many times, so he only dared to refine the second level soul gathering pill, and he was not very sure about the third level soul gathering pill. You know, each revolution of the pill is not a simple matter. It seems simple and easy to crush the formed pill into powder every time, but if you are not careful, the pill powder will become waste medicine residue. He practiced the 9-turn alchemy art for several years before he dared to try to refine the second turn pill. At the beginning, the failure rate was very high, and he often wasted a furnace of pills that could have been produced. After a long period of attempts, he slowly found the trick of this alchemy method. Turning back to the furnace of gathering spirit pills, this purple gold furnace is really worthy of being a top grade spiritual tool. It successfully harvested 2 pills on the first use. It took him nearly 3 hours to refine these 2 gathering spirit pills. If he only had the cultivation of key training, the refining time would definitely double, and he would not be able to sustain such a long refining process. However, this time the furnace was opened much faster than the last time he used the 9-dragon cauldron. Before, he used the 9-dragon cauldron to refine the gathering spirit pill, and it took him 4 hours to open the furnace once. The refining process consumed about 80% of his spiritual power, and more than 90% of his spiritual power. After Yun Yongzhu finished refining this furnace of gathering spirit pills, it was already Yaoshi, and he did not plan to continue refining the next furnace. He cleaned up the alchemy stone table, then put the purple gold furnace back into the dungeon for nourishment, and then left the alchemy room, and entered the practice room. Speaking of which, since he successfully built his foundation, he has been busy and has not had time to practice seriously. Yun Yongzhu sat cross-legged on the cushion above the spirit cave, first silently recited the calming heart sutra to calm down the joy of his success in alchemy. Then he started to practice the first level of the foundation building chapter of the Burning Wood Sutra. As the practice was running, a layer of light spiritual mist gradually gathered around Yun Yongzhu, and he looked like a fairy. Yun Yongzhu tirelessly operated the spiritual power in his body and gradually immersed himself in practice. When he came out of the state of practice, it was already the next day at the hour of Mao. Yun Yongzhu opened his eyes, felt the harvest of this night's practice, and couldn't help but smile and shook his head. No wonder most of the foundation building cultivators he had seen were in the initial and middle stages. It turned out that it was more difficult to improve the cultivation level when it came to the foundation building stage. After a night of diligent practice, Yun Yongzhu's spiritual power and action increased very little, and he could hardly sense the increase in spiritual power in his body. To use a vivid metaphor, when he practiced for 2 hours, it was like adding a drop of water to a small lake. Although it was small, his cultivation was actually increasing. Now he practiced for a whole night. It was like adding a drop of water to a big river. It was almost undetectable and difficult to find the increase in cultivation. According to his calculations, if he did not take elixirs to practice and improved his cultivation by absorbing spiritual power by himself, it would take at least 60 to 80 years for him to advance to the middle stage of foundation building. And this is the time limit for the blessing of the second level upper grade spiritual cave. If there is no second level upper grade spiritual cave to assist, it may not be possible to succeed in advancing, even if he practices hard for hundreds of years. It seems that, when it comes to the realm of foundation building, the main thing to fight for is cultivation resources. Without enough spiritual medicines and elixirs to support his practice, his hope of advancing to the golden elixir in this life is very slim. Thank you for the reward from the Lord God. I will update 1 chapter every day next day, and add more chapters starting from next Friday. Chapter 195, Selling the Soul Gathering Pill. The road to promotion is long and arduous. Yun Yongzhu thought about it, and got up, and left the practice room. In the next 2 days, Yun Yongzhu did not plan to spend time practicing. He planned to stay in the alchemy room, open the furnace to refine more pills, and consolidate the success rate of his refining of the gathering spirit pill. At noon on the second day, Yun Yongzhu had used up 4 of the 10 materials for the gathering spirit pill in his hand. At this time, there were a total of 5 medium-grade gathering spirit pills and 2 low-grade gathering spirit pills in his storage bag. Among them, 2 medium-grade gathering spirit pills and 1 low-grade gathering spirit pill were made by him in Xianyuan City before. Of course, his success rate would not improve in such a short period of time, but his success rate was greatly improved. He succeeded 3 times out of 4 times, which was a cause for celebration. According to what he had inquired about, these 7 gathering spirit pills were worth at least 1,400 spirit stones. Although he could not make a profit from refining the gathering spirit pill, it was very easy for him to practice. Of course, he had to open the furnace frequently to refine the gathering spirit pill, to improve the success rate of the gathering spirit pill. Therefore, even if his success rate in refining the soul gathering pill is very low now, over time, he will accumulate a lot of pills. The soul gathering pill, like the key gathering pill, also has time requirements and taboos for taking. Regardless of the quality of the soul gathering pill, a foundation building cultivator taking 1 pill is equivalent to the effect of half a year of meditation and hard practice. However, the best quality upper grade soul gathering pill can be taken once a month. The middle grade soul gathering pill can generally be taken once every 2 months, and the lower grade soul gathering pill takes the longest time, 4 months to take one. Therefore, Yun Yongzhu himself cannot digest so many soul gathering pills in a short period of time. He can only sell the soul gathering pills in his hand and exchange them for spiritual stones, spiritual medicines and other materials he can use. The soul gathering pill is a 2nd level spiritual pill, which is not rare, but it is also very valuable. Yun Yongzhu plans to sell this pill to his parents and 2 great-grandfathers. He first came to the courtyard of Yun Zuxan and Yun Zuxan. While Yun Yongzhu was brewing tea, he asked the 2 elders, "Grandfathers, I have refined several furnaces of gathering spirit pills in the past 2 days and I'm going to exchange them for spirit stones. Do you need any?" Yun Zuxan and Yun Zuxan had seen the alchemy level of this junior, and the quality of this gathering spirit pill must be good. When in Xianyuan City, 2 of the 3 gathering spirit pills Yun Yongzhu refined reached medium quality. There was no reason to refine them now, and the quality of the pills would decline. Even if it was a low-grade gathering spirit pill, it was what they needed for cultivation. They were not familiar with other pills that aided cultivation, and they did not dare to buy them rashly. Moreover, compared with pills purchased from outside, the pills refined by their juniors would be more secure. Of course, Xiaojiu, how many do you have? Yun Zuxan nodded repeatedly. He had just advanced out of retreat not long ago, and he was also in great need of pills to improve his cultivation. The key was that he was now very well off. "Grandfather 9, I have 5 middle grade pills and 2 low grade pills here." Hearing Yun Yongzhu say this, Yun Zuxan and the others showed joy and admired his alchemy skills. "Brother 9, how many do you want? I can have 3 or 4. Then I'll have 3 and you 4. Okay, then we'll split it this way." After the 2 brothers discussed it, they asked Yun Yongzhu how much the pills would cost. "Grandfathers, the market price of this middle grade spirit gathering pill is at least 220 spirit stones per pill. I'll sell it at 200 spirit stones. The low grade spirit gathering pill is 160 spirit stones per pill. I'll sell it at 150 spirit stones per pill." Yun Zuxan and Yun Zuxan nodded repeatedly and smiled. Each pill was much cheaper, and the discount was not low. Of course, even if they bought it at the original price, they would be very happy, because the price here was 10% or 20% cheaper than that in Yunzhou. "Okay, I'll go by your price." Yun Zuxan nodded, and didn't say anything more. "Then you will suffer a loss." "Thank you, Grandpa." Then the 2 of them took out their spirit stones and handed them to Yun Yongzhu. "Grandpa Jiu, please don't say that. As a junior, I'm a little shameless to accept spirit stones from 2 elders." Yun Yongzhu took out the spirit gathering pills, bottled them, and handed them to Yun Zuxan and the others, before accepting their spirit stones. The 2 shook their heads in disagreement with what Yun Yongzhu said. Jiu. There is a saying in the secular world that brothers should settle accounts clearly. I think it makes sense. Feelings are feelings, and money is money. No matter how deep the feelings are, the accounts must be settled clearly. Yes, especially for those of us who practice, there is always an endless demand for spiritual stones and treasures on the path of practice. It is not easy for us to obtain what we need for our practice. If you can refine pills in the future, Jiu, as long as you sell them to the family at a slightly lower price, you will have made a great contribution, and it will also play a big role in the family. We hope that every member of the family can contribute to the family, but we do not require free contributions, which is not conducive to the development of the family. And the foundation of the family is the cultivators. If the family drags down the practice of the members, then what is the meaning of the family's existence? Jiu. What you have to do is to practice hard and practice to the great perfection of foundation building as soon as possible. I very much hope to see the scene of you forming a pill in my lifetime. Yes, Jiu, you must have a full understanding of your own value. As long as you can successfully form a golden elixir, the family will become a golden elixir family, and more than 200,000 members of the family will benefit. Yun Yongzhu and Yun Yongzhu talked back and forth, hoping that Yun Yongzhu would not delay his own cultivation because of his help to the family and members. In the past few years, Jiu, you have helped the family a lot. Think about it. Before, your 25th great-grandfather even had to think twice before purchasing the elixir for cultivation. Speaking of this, Yun Yongzhu had something to say. Yes, I have the deepest understanding of this. The reason why I retreated for so long before breaking through was related to the embarrassment of the family at that time. If the family had spiritual stones to purchase spiritual pills at that time, I would not have to spend so much time. This time, I went to Zion City, and I also benefited from you, a junior, and earned more than 4,000 spiritual stones in a short time. I didn't dare to think about it before. Yun Yongzhu felt the most deeply about the changes in the family. In the past, he bought spiritual pills for cultivation one by one. Unlike now, even if he bought a bottle, he would not hesitate. Don't worry, my children will do things according to their ability and will not delay their own cultivation. Yun Yongzhu finally found a gap to talk and ended the topic. Yun Yongzhu talked about this issue with Yun Yongzhu several times, fearing that Yun Yongzhu helped the family too much and caused him to have insufficient resources for his own cultivation. Just know it yourself. Chapter 196 Willow Leaf Shuttle. Grandfathers, I'm going to say goodbye to Master now. We'll set off back to Yun's tomorrow. Yun Yongzhu thought that after almost 2 days, Master and Master's wife should have finished their work. Well, go when you're ready. We won't go up. There's nothing else to prepare. I'll go then. Go. So Yun Yongzhu left the small courtyard of Yun Yongzhu, left Loyan Hall, and went to Pilomio residence. Old song, is Master here? Fourth young master, the master and his wife just came back. They should be in Wanzhou now. Wanzhou is the main courtyard, where Huang Chengsheng and his wife live and practice. Okay, thank you, old song. Yun Yongzhu walked straight to the largest courtyard in Pilomio residence. As soon as he entered the courtyard, Yun Yongzhu saw Master and Master's wife talking in the pavilion in the courtyard. Greetings, Master and Master's wife. Jiu is here, come here quickly. Yun Yongzhu followed Guana's words and walked closer to them. Jiu, are you going out? Master, did you guess? You have to go back to the family after you successfully build your foundation. Master is really a prophet. This is why I came to Pilomio residence. When are we leaving? Master and Madam, we will leave tomorrow morning. I came here to say goodbye today. Okay, go early and come back early. Guana gestured for the two to continue chatting. She didn't know where she was going. Huang Chengsheng took out a shuttle-shaped spiritual weapon from his storage bag. Jiu, look at what this is. Yun Yongzhu took the small shuttle that Huang Chengsheng handed to him and was immediately surprised. It turned out that this was a flying shuttle spiritual weapon, and it was the flying spiritual weapon that he had always wanted to carry people. This spiritual weapon was not only a flying spiritual shuttle, but also a high quality flying spiritual shuttle, which was enough for Yun Yongzhu to use throughout the entire realm of the Foundation building period. Master, is this for me? What do you think? I've already given it to you, and you're still asking me that. Your Thunder Eagle egg hasn't hatched yet, has it? But even if it hatches, it's still unknown when it can help you. Indeed, in the past month, in order to be busy with Guana's golden elixir ceremony, he didn't deal with the Thunder Eagle egg, but just put it in the Spirit Beast bag. He planned to hatch the Thunder Eagle egg after returning from Yunwu Mountain. Yun Yongzhu was very happy, his mouth corners curled up, and his upper and lower rows of teeth were exposed. He couldn't wait to input his spiritual power into this spirit shuttle, and saw it instantly swell into a 3-meter long slender boat. Yun Yongzhu looked at the flying boat above his head, and asked Huang Chengsheng, Master, what is the name of this spirit boat? Huang Chengsheng was also very happy to see Yun Yongzhu's happy look. This spiritual boat was seized from the evil cultivator at the 9th level of Foundation building, when I went to Xianyuan City, to pick you up last time. Your master doesn't know what it's called, so you can name it yourself. After it's shrunk, it looks like a willow leaf and a shuttle. Why not call it a willow leaf shuttle? Willow leaf shuttle, well, this spiritual boat looks green all over, and the name willow leaf shuttle is really worthy of its name. Even master said so this spiritual weapon will be called willow leaf shuttle in the future. Put it away, and refine it, after returning to Loyan Palace. With this willow leaf shuttle, it will be more convenient for you to travel to Yunzhou. If you use all your strength, it is estimated that you can reach Yunzhou in less than a month. Really? How can this be false? This willow leaf shuttle is a top grade flying spiritual weapon. Its maximum speed is almost catching up with the escape speed of a giant unstage cultivator. You have just advanced to the Foundation building stage, and your spiritual power is probably insufficient. You cannot exert the full power of this willow leaf shuttle. When your cultivation level improves, you will be able to fly faster with this willow leaf shuttle. Yun Yongzhu also knew that it was not easy to refine a flying spiritual weapon, let alone a high-grade flying spiritual weapon. Although their Yun family was a family of weapon refiners, they did not have any spiritual weapon refining diagrams for refining flying boats and shuttles. The entire family only had one flying spiritual weapon, which was the black-sailed boat in the hands of the 25th great-grandfather Yun Zuxun. This black-sailed boat was brought back to the family by the ancestor Yun Yi from the sect. Although it was only a low-grade flying spiritual boat, its speed was comparable to that of mid-grade flying spiritual weapon. The black-sailed boat had always been a treasure of the family, and was passed from Yun Zuxun to Yun Zuxun. Huang Chengsheng watched his disciple put the willow leaf shuttle into the storage bag, and he continued to inquire, Xiaojiu, have you used up the Earth Escape talisman that your master gave you before? Also, have you practiced the several magic jade slips I gave you? Don't worry, master. I haven't used the 2 Earth Escape talismans yet, and I have only used the sword talisman that you gave me before once. I have already mastered the art of flying in the sky, and I will also intensify my practice of the art of fire snakes, the art of flame shield, the art of seeing enemies everywhere, and the art of gold shield. That's good. If you encounter danger, and you can't win, use the Earth Escape talisman to escape in time. Winning or losing is a small matter, but your life is a big matter. After that, he took out a thin stack of talismans, and handed them to Yun Yongzhu. Here, take it. There are 2 pieces of each type of talisman, including the golden knife talisman, the vine talisman, the vast sea talisman, the fire snake talisman, the earth prison talisman, the iron wall talisman, and the earth cover talisman. You must use them carefully. Yun Yongzhu was puzzled. These 14 talismans were all 2nd level talismans, and judging from their quality, most of them were medium and high quality talismans. The price of each 2nd level talisman was at least 160 spirit stones, so the lowest value of these 14 2nd level talismans was more than 2,200. Moreover, most of the talismans were medium and high quality, and the value of the defensive talismans was even higher. The most important thing was that 2nd level talismans were not easy to make, and were not easy to obtain. At least with Yun Yongzhu's current status and ability, if he wanted to obtain a second level talisman at any time, he could only exchange it with points in the sect treasury or the mission hall. Or he could only rely on luck and meet it at some trade fairs or auctions. Yun Yongzhu thought that he was just going back to the family, not going to risk his life. Why did the master give him so many second level talismans to protect him? Yun Yongzhu had just put away the stack of talismans, and before he had time to ask why, Guwana came back. She walked to the two of them and stuffed a storage bag into Yun Yongzhu's hand. Xiaojiu, your master has prepared all the spiritual tools and talismans for you. Master's wife didn't know what to prepare for you, so she got you some spiritual fruits and vegetables. You can keep them for yourself and eat them slowly. Thank you, master's wife. Yun Yongzhu took the storage bag, probed it with his spiritual sense, and was immediately shocked. Master's wife, why are there so many? This is a first level low grade storage bag, with a space of 10 feet in radius, filled with various spiritual fruits and vegetables. It's like this, your master and I are going to practice in seclusion for a while, which is estimated to take a year and a half, or even 2 or 3 years. And you will probably stay in Yunwu Mountain for a while this time, so these are just right for you to eat during this time. Yun Yongzhu suddenly realized, no wonder master gave him spiritual tools and spiritual talismans, wishing to arm him all over. During the time when your master and your mistress are in seclusion, you must practice diligently. If you encounter any questions in your practice, you can ask your second senior brother and third senior sister, or you can ask us after we come out of seclusion. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 197, Intermediate Spiritual Stone. Outside the sect, the most important thing is your own life. You must protect yourself. These spiritual vegetables can only be eaten for 2 or 3 months. When you return to the sect, the spiritual vegetables in the spiritual field will probably grow again. When you need spiritual food and spiritual diet, ask your housekeeper Wang to come to Pyomyoju to find Songpeng. He will arrange it for you. Yun Yongzhu is familiar with this kind of thing. He often asks Wang Yiming to go to Pyomyoju to get spiritual food. The main reason is that Huang Chengsheng has a second level lower grade spiritual diet chef. The spiritual food made is not only extremely delicious, but also beneficial for cultivation. Xiaojiu, the master has prepared a book of alchemy experience for you. Take it and comprehend it. You can't stop practicing, and you can't fall behind in alchemy. Yun Yongzhu took the thick book handed to him by Huang Chengsheng, and there were 2 jade slips on it. Looking at Yun Yongzhu's puzzled eyes, Huang Chengsheng continued, the master is not sure when he will come out of retreat. I will give you 2 more pill recipes. If you have enough time, you can comprehend it yourself. These 2 recipes, one is the recovering pill and the other is the restoring spirit pill. You should have some understanding of these 2 kinds of pills. The recovering pill is a healing pill. Its main ingredient is the bone flower. This spiritual medicine is rare. If you are lucky enough to come across it, don't let it go. The restoring spirit pill is a pill that quickly restores spiritual power. It is mainly suitable for foundation building monks. The top grade restoring spirit pill also has some effect on Jindan monks. Generally, it is used to turn defeat into victory, escape death, etc. when spiritual power is insufficient. It is similar to the restoring ki pill. There are only 321 kinds of spiritual medicine materials in the recipe of the restoring spirit pill. After you have read the master's experience in alchemy, you can try to refine it yourself. Master, I know. By the way, Xiaojiu, do you still have any spiritual stones on you now? Yun Yongzhu gave Guwana 3 big gifts. She was worried that Yun Yongzhu had squandered all the spiritual stones in his hands. Don't worry, master's wife, I still have a lot of spiritual stones in my hand. What's more, I have the skill of alchemy. It is easy to earn spiritual stones. Although Yun Yongzhu said this, Guwana still felt that he was short of money. So she took out 10 spirit stones from the storage bag. Master's wife knows that your alchemy skills are not bad, and it is easy to earn spirit stones, but you will be leaving the sect tomorrow, so you should have some spirit stones in your hand. These are 10 mid-grade spirit stones. If you need them urgently, you can exchange them. Yun Yongzhu looked at the spirit stones in Guana's hand with astonishment. This was the first time he saw a mid-grade spirit stone. Master's wife, I really don't lack spirit stones. You should keep them. They are too expensive. When cultivators trade with each other, they usually only use low-grade spiritual stones. Even most cultivators barter with each other, using common spiritual objects such as spiritual rice as currency. Medium grade and above spiritual stones are no longer used as circulating currency, but as precious cultivation materials and treasures. Because the spiritual power content of medium grade spiritual stones is hundreds of times that of low grade spiritual stones, and the spiritual power inside is extremely pure. If cultivators often use medium grade spiritual stones for cultivation, not only can their cultivation be improved faster, but it will also be much easier to break through bottlenecks. It is rumored that a low-level cultivator in the initial stage of key training used a medium-grade spiritual stone to break through to the middle stage of key training. Regardless of whether the rumor is true or false, since this rumor has been spread, it proves that this medium-grade spiritual stone is really a treasure for cultivation. In addition to being used for cultivation, the medium-grade spiritual stone is also an indispensable array base and energy source for high-level array formations. Jiu, you don't have to be polite to me, the master's wife. You have also built a foundation now, and you should have a few medium grade spiritual stones in your hand. This is a foundation building gift that I, the master's wife, have prepared for you a long time ago. Chapter 198 HUIU and Dan. It's just that I've been busy consolidating my cultivation these past few months, and then there's the golden elixir ceremony, so I was delayed. Seeing that Yun Yongzhu still refused to accept it, Guana had to say, when your senior brother and his disciples were building their foundation, your master's wife also prepared gifts for them. If you don't believe me, ask your master. Seeing the look in Yun Yongzhu's eyes, Huang Changsheng nodded slightly and said, it's true. However, what Huang Changsheng didn't say was that the foundation building gifts that Guana had given to other disciples before were not as valuable as this one. Huang Changsheng knew that this was related to the golden elixir gift given by the young disciple. Yun Yongzhu's move was beyond the expectations of the couple, and it also made them closer to Yun Yongzhu and valued him more. Although the other 3 disciples also gave gifts to their master's wife, none of them were as valuable as the one Yun Yongzhu gave. But Huang Changsheng was not unhappy. He was an alchemist himself, so of course he knew that it was much easier for alchemists to earn spirit stones, and his disciples' alchemy skills were also very outstanding, so it was even easier for him to earn spirit stones. The other 3 disciples were different. It was not easy to earn spirit stones. The second disciple Hunlin was better off. He was promoted to the 2nd level lower grade talisman maker a few years ago. I dare not refuse the gift from the elder. It's just 10 middle grade spirit stones. Why are you so shy? What a manly man. Master said it so lightly. Middle grade spirit stones are not cabbages. It's not even certain whether there are 10 middle grade spirit stones in the family's Yunwu mountain collection. Yun Yongzhu muttered to himself. But since his master said so, he had to accept these 10 middle grade spirit stones. Thank you, master's wife, for your generous gift. Jiu, you must remember that if you want to exchange these middle grade spirit stones for lower grade spirit stones, you must not exchange them if there are less than 1,200 pieces, otherwise you will suffer a great loss. Yun Yongzhu nodded repeatedly. Although he had never seen middle grade spirit stones, he had heard about the exchange ratio between these high grade spirit stones. In fact, no cultivator was willing to exchange medium grade spirit stones for low grade spirit stones, and Yun Yongzhu would not do such a stupid thing. Huang Changsheng and the others then gave Yun Yongzhu a lot of instructions and explanations before letting him go back to Lowen Hall. Yun Yongzhu left Piomio residence, but did not return to Lowen Hall first. Instead, he went to the Danlian Peak Hall and spent 300 spirit stones to buy a bottle of high-grade Huiyuan pill. This Huiyuan pill is a 2nd grade pill that restores vitality and replenishes blood. Compared with the first grade blood replenishing pill, it has better efficacy. After returning to Loyan Hall, Yun Yongzhu found his two great-grandfathers and told them that he had said goodbye to his master. Then he went to the small courtyard of Yun Dachin and his wife and told his parents that he would leave for the family tomorrow. Then he hurried back to his practice room. While it was still early, he took out the willow leaf shuttle given by Huang Changsheng for sacrifice. After successfully imprinting the spiritual mark on the willow leaf shuttle and storing it in the danshan for nourishment, Yun Yongzhu took out a high-grade Huan pill and swallowed it. Huan Dan is a second-level elixir that restores the vitality and blood of cultivators. In less than a month, Yun Yongzhu successively sacrificed two top-grade spiritual tools, the purple gold alchemy furnace and the willow leaf shuttle, which consumed 2 drops of his true blood. If he had stayed in the sect, it would not matter if he lost 3 or 4 drops of essence and blood. He could just take blood replenishing pills and slowly recuperate. However, Yun Yongzhu would leave for Yunzhou tomorrow. When he was away from home, it would be better to adjust himself to the best condition as soon as possible. That's why he specially bought a bottle of top-grade Huandan, which has a better and faster effect in restoring vitality. After Yun Yongzhu took the pill, he closed his eyes and moved the spiritual power of Danshan to the stomach to dissolve the medicinal power of Huandan as soon as possible. When he opened his eyes again, it was already the next day at the hour of Mao. Feeling the fullness of blood in his body, Yun Yongzhu was very satisfied. This top-grade Huan pill is indeed a second-level spiritual pill that costs 30 spirit stones each. Recovery is much faster than a top-grade blood replenishing pill that costs 6 spirit stones each. It really is true that you get what you pay for. Chapter 199 Returning Home in Glory. The lost blood and essence had been restored, so Yun Yongzhu stopped wasting time in the practice room and got up to go out. As soon as he walked out of the practice room, he saw Wang Yiming waiting in the courtyard. "Uncle Master Yun, you are out." Even though he had heard it many times, Yun Yongzhu was still a little uncomfortable with the title of Uncle Master, but that was the rule of the sect, and he couldn't let others change their words rashly. "Nephew Wang, you must take good care of the spiritual fruit trees in the cave after I leave, especially the 5-element spiritual fruit tree." "Don't worry, Uncle Master Yun, I know this without you telling me, but I don't know when you will return to the sect. If you are late, you will miss the spiritual fruit harvest." "I don't think so. It will take more than half a year for the spiritual fruit to mature. I will definitely be back by then." Now he is no longer a low-level cultivator in the key training realm. Even without the assistance of the merchant ship of the sect's Wanbao Pavilion, with his own strength and the willow leaf shuttle that he had just sacrificed, he can also cross the sect and Yunzhou. That's the best. By the way, young master, Senior Yun and Senior Yang are already waiting in the middle courtyard. "Well, I'll go then," Yun Yongzhu said, and quickly went to the middle courtyard. He couldn't let his parents wait too long. "Father and mother, good morning. Son, you're here." Not long after, Yun Zuxun and the others came out one after another. "Let's go." After the few people greeted each other, Yun Zuxun was about to use his black-sailed boat, but was stopped by Yun Yongzhu. Under their puzzled gazes, Yun Yongzhu took out a small and exquisite emerald green spiritual shuttle from his danshan in his abdomen. Top-grade spiritual weapon. Yun Zuxun recognized the grade of the spiritual weapon and exclaimed, "Xiaojiu, where did you get this spiritual shuttle?" "I went to say goodbye to my master yesterday. My master gave me this. It's called the Willow Leaf Shuttle. I just refined it yesterday." "Xiaojiu, are you okay?" "Don't worry, mother. I took the Huan pill to restore my vitality after refining the Willow Leaf Shuttle yesterday." "That's good. Senior Huang is really good to you." Yun Yongzhu smiled and nodded, then threw the willow leaf shuttle in his hand into the sky, turning it into a small shuttle-shaped spiritual boat. 9 Great-Grandpa, 25th Great-Grandpa, Mom and Dad, let's go up. After they went up first, Yun Yongzhu also flew into the willow leaf shuttle, then drove the spiritual boat into the sky, and instantly rushed out of Piomio Peak. Yun Dachin and others who entered first came up from the cabin inside, and praised the willow leaf shuttle. "Xiaojiu, your willow leaf shuttle is so exquisite. Although the space is not big, it can accommodate more than a dozen people if we squeeze in." Yes, if there is a spiritual vein, this willow leaf shuttle can be used as a cave. The top grade flying spiritual tool is really different. Hey, this speed is too fast. We are about to leave the range of Kingshan sect. Everyone went up to the deck above the willow leaf shuttle and found through the protective shield that they were about to leave the mountain gate of Kingshan sect. Well, this is not full speed. Wait until you are out of the range of the sect and then increase the speed. Less than half an hour after he finished speaking, the willow leaf shuttle brought everyone to the entrance and exit of Kingshan sect. Yun Yongzhu hovered the willow leaf shuttle, removed the protective shield of the spiritual tool, used his purple personal disciple identity card and a complex spell to open an exit on the sect's protective barrier, and then controlled the willow leaf shuttle to go out through this passage. This is one of the advantages of being a direct disciple of the sect. This purple token is not only a symbol of identity, but also can record the number of points. It can also be used to freely enter and exit the sect's formation. Other disciples of the sect can only obtain permission to enter and exit the sect first, and then go to a special place for the sect disciples to open the passage. As for the safety of the sect and the safety of the direct disciples, there is no need to worry. Because no matter what color the identity jade card is, only the owner of the jade card can use it. People in the sect who have an identity jade card can transfer their points to others. Very few people can see the number of points in the jade card with the help of magic tools. For the rest of the people, this identity jade card is just a more beautiful jade pendant. After leaving the sect's protective barrier, Yun Yongzhu raised the willow leaf shuttle to a high altitude, and then input all his spiritual power into the willow leaf shuttle, using his spiritual consciousness to control the direction, and the speed instantly increased by nearly double. The willow leaf shuttle was as fast as a meteor in the sky, flashing by. Nineth great-grandfather, 25th great-grandfather, dad and mom, let's go down and sit in the cabin to rest. Yun Yongzhu didn't necessarily need to stay on the deck to operate the willow leaf shuttle. He could control the willow leaf shuttle freely in any corner of the willow leaf shuttle. So everyone entered the cabin and each chose a suitable compartment to go in. There were decks in front and behind the willow leaf shuttle, and the cabin was built in the middle of the spiritual boat. There was an aisle on one side of the cabin and compartments on the other side. There were exactly 5 compartments. Although the space inside was not large, there were beds for rest and sleep, but they were all single. Each compartment had a large window, and there was a long window next to the aisle, so the compartment seemed very bright and not dark and cramped. The willow leaf shuttle had always been very fast, but Yun Yongzhu had just built his foundation not long ago, and his spiritual power was not enough to keep the willow leaf shuttle flying for a long time. After 3 days, everyone changed to Yun Zuxuan's black-sailed boat, and after another 5 days, they changed to the King Iron boat that Yun Dachan had bought in Xianyuan City. After the 3 of them changed their shifts, they had already flown nearly 1/3 of the distance. On the afternoon of the 31st day, they entered the territory of Yunzhou. The reason why they arrived in Yunzhou so quickly was, on the one hand, because Yun Yongzhu's willow leaf shuttle was quite fast, and the main reason was that they had 3 spirit boats rotating and traveling day and night. If there was only one person, for their own safety, the speed should not be so fast. When we get outside the Yunwu Mountain Protection Formation, Chenna, you two go down first and quietly return to your own cave. 25th Grandpa, we know. The only person in the family who knew that Yun Dachan and his wife went to Kingshan sect with Yun Zuxuan and Yun Zuxan to build their foundation was the patriarch Yun Shicheng. The other members of the family thought they were in seclusion, and even Yun Yongbei, Yun Yongguan and the twins didn't know anything. After a night of traveling, they finally arrived outside the mountain gate of Yunwu Mountain at noon the next day. According to the original agreement, Yun Dachan and Yang Liu got off the black-sailed boat and quietly returned to Xingshan Mansion. After the two left, Yun Zuxuan drove the black-sailed boat to the main gate of Yunwu Mountain with great fanfare. He was afraid that the clan members would not see him, so he circled Yunwu Mountain, passed through the mountain protection formation, and flew to the ancestral hole halfway up the mountain. Before getting off the black-sailed boat, Yun Yongzhu saw 6 figures standing outside the ancestral hole on the boat. They were the elders and clan leaders of the family. They were all here. It seems that the communication talisman sent by the two great-grandfathers after entering Yunzhou was to tell the clan leaders about his successful foundation building. Otherwise there would not be such a big scene at this time. Yun Yongzhu just flew out of the black-sailed boat, and before his feet landed on the ground, he saw the clan leader Yun Shichen leading everyone to salute the two great-grandfathers. They all said in unison, "Welcome Uncle 9 and Uncle 25 back to the mountain. Welcome Grandpa 9 and Grandpa 25 back to the mountain." Yun Yongzhu also quickly landed, respectfully saluted and said, "Little 9 greets the clan leader grandfather and all the elders. Even if he has already established his foundation, it cannot change his status as a junior. Among all the people present, he was the youngest and the youngest. No need to be polite. You all received the news, right? I know you all came to see Xiaojiu." As soon as Yun Zuxin finished speaking, everyone surrounded Yun Yongzhu and looked at him carefully. "Xiaojiu, second grandfather can't tell your cultivation level. Have you really established your foundation?" Yun Yongzhu released his spiritual force field, and everyone immediately felt a strong spiritual pressure enveloping them. "Second grandfather, it's true. I have successfully established my foundation." Yun Yongzhu nodded seriously and gave everyone a positive answer. Then he also released his true fire. "The family finally has another foundation building cultivator. This is the true fire of a foundation building cultivator. Xiaojiu has really established his foundation. May our ancestors bless you." Everyone looked at the light green spiritual flame in Yun Yongzhu's palm with an excited expression. Chapter 200. Everyone is happy. Seeing the elders all looking so excited that their eyes were slightly red, Yun Yongzhu was filled with emotion and felt a little sour in his heart. Yunwu Mountain has been weak for a long time. Since the establishment of the clan, it has always been the weakest foundation building family in Yunzhou. In the past few decades, it has been heavily in debt. Under such circumstances, these family elders would rather not receive monthly allowances themselves, but also maintain the normal operation of the family. It is precisely because of these elders silently supporting them behind the scenes that Yun Yongzhu and other young people's cultivation has not been greatly affected, and even almost all ordinary clan members are unaware of the family's predicament. Generation after generation of clan members have been working tirelessly to expand the family. Now their generation finally sees the hope of revitalizing the family in Yun Yongzhu. "Xiaojiu, good job. After you build your foundation, our Yun family has more confidence. Xiaojiu, from now on, you will become the backing of our Yunwu Mountain just like Uncle 9 and Uncle 25. Xiaojiu, your parents must be very happy to know this news." Everyone praised Yun Yongzhu with all their strength, making him a little overwhelmed. Okay, didn't I tell Changer about Xiaojiu's foundation building a long time ago? You should be happy, but you've probably been happy for a long time. Since you're all here, let's discuss what to do with Xiaojiu's foundation building ceremony, and arrange the time. Yun Zuxin and Yun Zuxin's words reminded the elders, and they all nodded excitedly in agreement with their words. Uncle 25 is right. Xiaojiu's foundation building is the biggest happy event in our family in the past 50 years. We must celebrate it well. Yes, we must organize a good one. Through the foundation building ceremony, we can strengthen some connections and clear the obstacles to the family business. And the matter of Xiaojiu's apprenticeship to Jinden Zenren, I have been holding this matter in my heart for so many years, and it makes me sick. Yes, we finally waited until Xiaojiu succeeded in building his foundation. When mentioning this matter, everyone laughed again. I prepared the invitations for the trade fair last time, so I'll prepare them this time. Leave the ancestral hall to me. Fifth brother, I'll help decorate the ancestral hall, too. Elders, what do you need me to do? Yun Yongzhu saw the elders discussing their own ceremony directly outside the ancestral hall, and couldn't help but interrupt to ask. Yun Shichen turned his head to look at him, smiled and said, "Xiaojiu, you don't have to do anything, just wait for the ceremony to start." "Yes, Xiaojiu, we will arrange it for you." At this time, Yun Zuxin and Yun Zuxin also nodded with smiles on their faces. "Xiaojiu, the family will arrange your foundation building ceremony properly, and you can go home and wait now." Hearing the two people with the highest cultivation in the family say this, Yun Yongzhu bowed to everyone. Then I'll leave it to you elders. No trouble, we all hope to do this kind of thing from time to time, haha. Then all the elders bid farewell to Yun Zuxuan and the others, and then followed the clan leader Yun Shichen to his cave, hoping to arrange the things that should be done for this ceremony as soon as possible. Yun Shichen usually handles clan affairs in his cave. As for Yun Zuxuan and the others, they entered the ancestral hall. Since they were already outside the ancestral hall, Yun Yongzhu followed Yun Zuxuan and the others into the hall to pay homage to the ancestors, which was considered to inform them in advance of the good news of the foundation building of their descendants. The furnishings in the ancestral hall were still exactly the same as they were 23 years ago. Even the 10 cushions on the ground were still there. At that time, Yun Yongzhu was only 6 years old, and it was just tested that he had the qualifications of 3 spiritual roots. Yun Yongzhu knelt on the cushion behind Yun Zuxuan and the others, thinking back to the past, and felt that time was passing quickly. In a blink of an eye, he was almost 30 years old. Fortunately, he had not lived in vain for nearly 30 years. He successfully built his foundation and stepped into the road of cultivation, and his lifespan was extended. Xiaojiu, let's go. You can come back to pay respect to the ancestors at your foundation building ceremony. The 3 of them separated after leaving the ancestral hall and went to their own caves. Yun Yongzhu flew towards his home. He hadn't seen them for more than 7 years. He didn't know what the twins and Yang Yuan looked like now. The intermediate air control technique was much faster than the low-level cloud soaring technique. However, Yun Yongzhu had only just started learning the air control technique for a short time, so it took him an incense stick of time to reach his home, Xingchen Mansion. After he entered, he was soon discovered by the mortals who were cleaning the yard. Uncle Jiu, you're back. There was no way. Yun Yongzhu's face was too recognizable. Changling, aren't you married? Yun Changling, originally a family mortal who served their family. Her father was Yun Yongfei. Yun Yongzhu didn't see her the last time he went home. I heard that she got married. It's me. Uncle Jiu still remembers me. Of course I remember. You also took care of my second brother Bayer. Yun Changling seemed very happy to hear that Yun Yongzhu still remembered her, and then she told her own story. It turned out that her father Yun Yongfei was old and wanted to go down the mountain to spend his remaining years. But if they left, there would not be enough manpower to take care of Xingchen Mansion. After all, the area of his parents' cave was not small. So after obtaining the consent of Yun Yongzhu's parents, Yun Yongfei called his daughter and her husband back to Yunwu Mountain. Yun Yongzhu could understand this. After all, the fat water should not flow to outsiders, and not everyone in the family has the opportunity to serve the cultivators. Moreover, Yun Changling was a mortal junior of the family familiar to Yun Daichen and his wife, and the person she married was also of the Yun family bloodline, and they were all from the same clan, so there was naturally no hindrance. Uncle 9, you came back at a bad time. Grandpa 5 and Grandma 5 are in seclusion for more than 4 months. I know that, but what about my brothers? Uncle 13 is still planting spiritual fields at the foot of the mountain, but he has moved back home. He just takes time every day to check on the growth of the spiritual plants and take care of the spiritual fields. Uncle 18 is probably practicing immortal arts again or refining immortal pills. I don't know about Uncle 19 and Uncle 20. They may be helping Uncle 13, or they may have gone to the market in Yunwu Town. I know, you go and get busy. Yun Yongzhu sent Yun Changling away and walked towards his own yard. On the way, he also heard his parents talk about his 4 younger brothers, saying that they have made great progress in the past 7 years. The second brother Yun Yongbei's cultivation has reached the 5th level of key training. The most important thing is that he can now draw a first level middle grade talisman and occasionally draws a first level top grade talisman. The third brother Yun Yongzhu is worthy of being a talent with 2 spiritual roots. In just less than 7 years, he has cultivated to the 4th level of key training. Not only that, he also used these nearly 7 years to study alchemy and figure out the recipe, but he didn't know if he could make the elixir now. The 2 twin brothers also advanced from the 2nd level of key training to the 3rd level of key training. Moreover, the two of them listened to Yun Yongzhu's words and took the initiative to ask Yang Liu for a copy of the outline of refining equipment, wanting to become a refiner and earn resources for cultivation. Yun Yongzhu saw a new yard from a distance, and he knew that this was the residence of his third brother Yun Yongzhu. Before leaving home, this was just a flower bed, which was determined by Yun Dachan as the place where Yun Yongzhu's yard would be settled. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.